Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Intros are very awkward. I have Acing here today. Very different vibe from last time. He's facing the wall. He's trying to do some dramatic thing where he turns around at the right time. I don't know what that right time is. He didn't say. He just turned around.
Hello.
There we go. Hello, AcingGames.
Holding out for as long as we can. Hello.
Yeah. We want to skip through the intro because I suck at intros in general. They're one of those things that I'm just not very used to. In my normal videos, I just try and skip them every chance I get. But anyway, so I want to mention that the first podcast, thank you all for the support. It's performing incredibly well, way better than I thought it would. So yeah, we're going to continue doing this for a little bit. It's really fun. But yeah, so same with last time, we have a guest. We're doing a bunch of questions, different types. We've got a few general questions, just some topical ones. Like an example I gave in the last one. What was the example I gave? Cereal or milk first was the example. So we have those kinds of questions to start with. Also, it's cereal first.
I don't respect people. Yeah, I was going to say I don't respect people who do milk first.
After that, we have a couple of game questions. And after that, we have just some personal ones, just some questions about us. Anyone who's new to this podcast, to get it clear, this isn't a Minecraft podcast. Yes, we're in Minecraft, but it's just the visuals. Anyone who's only listening to this podcast instead of watching it, it makes no difference. Like, we might have Minecraft come up in a game question, which definitely will today. But it's not a Minecraft-focused podcast. Just to get that clear for anyone who's new to the podcast. How many times did I say podcast in that, Acing? Were you counting?
I've been taking shots.
You're going to be absolutely hammered about 10 minutes.
This is just completely destroyed.
Okay, so do you want to get into the first question? So this one, I picked this one out specifically for you because I know that you are one to be a little bit different. A little bit different with this.
Okay, just...
First question. When is the best time to eat dinner?
Okay, look.
Dinner, tea, supper, whatever.
Okay, I'm part of the supper gang, first of all.
Supper gang? No, it's dinner. It's dinner.
Supper. Breakfast, lunch, supper. I think we're both weird. Because you have it like 4 p.m?
4 or 5. I just had food. We're recording
that's
at 5 p.m.
I had lunch about an hour ago.
Lunch is at 12.
Not like, what time's your breakfast then?
I mean, I've been waking up at 12, so I've been skipping breakfast. I've been having breakfast and lunch at the same time.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're having breakfast when you wake up. You're having lunch when you wake up. You're having your dinner at 4. And then you're going to bed at 2, which is 10 hours later.
Yeah, I have things in between, but when I used to have a normal sleep schedule, I would probably wake up about 8 or 9, have breakfast as soon as I wake up, have lunch at 12, maybe 1, depending on the day, dinner at 5, and then maybe something else in the evening. That's what I've always done. Everything is a few hours apart. You don't have to go many hours without food. What are you doing?
I mean, okay, well, I mean, I'm a weird person in that I never, ever skip breakfast under any circumstances, ever.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what time I wake up. If I wake up at 9, if I wake up at 3 p.m, I will have breakfast. And it will be the actual breakfast, like a bowl of cereal. I skip lunch, not breakfast.
You skip lunch?
I mean, no, not always, obviously. If I have a late breakfast, I will probably skip lunch.
Okay, I mean, that's fair.
And then my dinner / supper, it's most of the time dictated to what time I had lunch, and if it's not, it's dictated to what time my dad cooks it.
Okay.
Because if he cooks it, he's probably going to be cooking to eat at 11 o'clock. And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, there's been times where you've had food. You had your dinner at midnight.
I've had it at midnight. I've had it at 1 a.m. before, actually.
1 a.m. What do you have in between? How?
Oh god, I eat lunch at about 3, and then I just snack on things, or I just sit hungry.
But you have dinner at 11 o'clock or midnight or whatever.
No, nowadays it's more 9. It's more normal.
No, 9.
It's more normal. It's still not normal.
It's slightly more normal. Yeah, but 9 is still really late.
That's not. That's not like. That's not like a big thing for me. It's just like, it's dinner time, supper time, whatever.
Like, I know having food like 4 is quite early. I had a friend when I went to school. He had dinner about 2.
Okay, I think that if you're having dinner at 2, that's probably because they're one of the people who goes dinner, breakfast, tea. Oh, sorry, no, breakfast, dinner, tea, I mean. Well, I know, like...
No, he wasn't. He had breakfast when he woke up, lunch at 12, then dinner at 2 or 3, depending on whether he had school or not.
And what about like the rest of the day?
Nothing. He went to bed like 7.
What time do you wake up?
I don't know. Probably very early.
Because hang on, I'm just thinking about this now, because you get people like Lily and Username who are going to bed like sort of 11, 12-ish generally. And they're waking up like 6.
Yeah, that's...
But if you're going to bed at
healthy.
7...
Yeah, I mean, maybe not 7, but he went to bed pretty early. So he had dinners very, very early. Went to bed quite early.
Lunchtime dinner. He's
Pretty
having
much.
dinner at the time my school lunch ends.
I don't know, 2? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I think... Okay, going back to what my point is that 9 o'clock isn't that bad for me, given that my lunch generally is about 2 to 3.
Right.
It was late today. I had lunch at 4 today because I had to go down the shops because I ran out of pasta
You had
sauce.
your
I'm very
lunch
sad.
at the normal time to have dinner.
Okay, I'm gonna Google this now. You're like,
He's already searching
what
something up
is
10 minutes in.
normal time to have dinner? I wrote it as diner.
Diner.
About 4 to 5 hours after lunch. Great, thanks. That's really helpful.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
No, 4 to 5 hours after lunch.
Yeah, I have my lunch at about
Okay,
12.
it says, but it says generally. Okay, it just says but within 3 hours of bedtime before bedtime, and my
That's
bedtime is about 5 hours
respectable.
beyond that.
That's respectful.
Maybe not if it's at 1 a.m. Maybe not if it's at 1 a.m.
Unless you
I
go
mean,
bed
when I
quite
eat
late.
at that time. The latest I think I've ever eaten actually was probably, I think it was like New Year's 2020,
Right.
where we had like a 3 a.m. fry up.
Oh.
Like we weren't even partying or anything. We don't do New Year's parties. We just sort of do the New Year stuff and then stay up.
That's fair. I mean, I made food the other night at like midnight, but that wasn't like a late dinner. It was just, I was hungry.
Fair enough.
But I don't know. The latest I probably had dinner was maybe about 7, maybe 8. I don't have late dinner. I can't. I get very hungry.
I get hungry, but I'm someone who snacks a lot. Actually, in fact,
Oh, yeah, same.
I'm someone who snacks so much that I have got Chocky in my hand right now.
I mean, that's fair. I went out for chocolate earlier, and the Lidl by me, they only have dark chocolate. Only have dark chocolate. So they order like, you know, milk, white, and dark chocolate. But like, they order so much more dark chocolate, even though no one buys it. So right now they have absolutely no milk chocolate and no white chocolate. They have like 3 boxes full of dark chocolate on the shelves, and it's a mess. No one's taking it. No one really wants dark chocolate around here anyway. And I had to settle.
It's like, it's so weird for me because there are times where like my school does this really good like Rocky Road, but it's made of dark chocolate, and it's really nice. Give me dark chocolate as is normally. I will probably gag.
I'm pretty much the same. If it's used in something, it's probably fine. But as it is,
If it's
not
directly tasteable, like
I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
I know that a lot of people do like dark chocolate. I can't. I have it. Like, I can eat it. It's fine. But I would prefer literally anything else.
If I get like if I have to live on it, I will survive. Well, okay, probably not. It's a bit unhealthy, but you know what I mean when I say that. But like, given the opportunity to choose quite literally any other type of chocolate, I will pass.
That's fair. I get that.
Actually, I'm gonna ask this now because this was gonna be one of my ideas for a question. Are you a chocolate enjoyer or a sweet enjoyer?
Chocolate.
Okay, good. I'm
100%.
glad they're on the same page.
For me, anything sugary is good, but if it contains chocolate, it's like 10 times better.
That's fair enough.
Obsessed with chocolate, but I think I'm more of a quantity over quality sort of person. So I would prefer to buy a load of cheap chocolate as opposed to a smaller amount of more expensive chocolate.
Like I've got a bag of brownie M&Ms in front of me. Like, I just want chocolate.
Yeah, I've been buying like Lidl's own brand chocolate because it's like 36p or something like that, and I just buy more of it. I prefer quantity. A pound, yeah, that's fair.
Look, if it's nicer, I will buy it for longer. But I do it by en masse pretty much.
It reminds me of when I saw Sean over Christmas. So the Aldi by him, they had like a Christmas aisle. This was like early January at this point, and they still had like a shelf full of like Santa chocolate lollies, like sticks of chocolate, were like Santa Claus shaped, and it was like incredibly cheap because they were really trying to get rid of it. And you got a pretty good amount of chocolate there, so I bought them. I think it was like 8 chocolate lollies, but they were pretty big ones, and for like 50p or something like that. So we sat at the bench just up the road from that Aldi, and he only really wanted one, and I just had the rest. Like,
typical Sean.
He just wasn't that hungry. He hadn't long had food, and he just wasn't hungry. But I had the other 7.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who, like, actually my mum is as well. My mum is way more than me in that she doesn't really know how to stop eating.
Yeah.
I'm by no means have I been able to put on weight from it. It's more so just like, I can have like a massive steak and chips dinner, and I'll be absolutely stuffed. Oh. I didn't mean to do that.
he just sat on my head in game. We have a thing on our server where you can just like click on things to like sit down, but that also includes players, and he just clicked on me whilst trying to eat. And he just sat on my head. He sat on the camera. Please do not nudge the camera.
I'm going to TP to you to make sure that I do not nudge the camera.
There you go. That happened with Lion the last one. We just pushed the camera a little bit. It was fine. I could readjust it. But anyway.
Anyway, I was saying I can have like a steak and a massive steak and chips dinner, and I'll be absolutely stuffed. But there's always space for an ice cream. Oh, yeah. There's always space
for ice cream. I think there's actually like a full like scientific reasoning behind that. I don't really know what it is. I wasn't paying attention. But I know there's an actual reason. Like having extra space in your stomach for something else.
It just happens. And then, I'll have maybe like a bit of chocolate before bed or something.
Yeah, that's
like I had a massive lunch today and I've still got chocolate next to me.
No, my problem's that, I also can't stop eating. I eat very quickly as well, and I don't like that. Because if I ate slower, I'd eat less. But I can't do that.
I mean, in my case, it's like, if it's a food that I am not particularly, like, it's not like I cooked it, it's just kind of there and I like it. I'll eat it quite slow. If I cooked it and I like it a lot, it's gone in a minute. Like,
yeah,
I hoover it up.
Yeah, I've been struggling with that recently. So what I normally do when I make food, I would typically, like, I don't know, let's say I've like made a pasta or something. I make like 3 or 4 servings of it, put it in a little plastic tub, then put it in the fridge. So that way, all I need to do is put it in the microwave, and there you go, extra serving. I don't need to cook again. So those 4 servings, they're more like 2. So I just eat more. That's just, I don't know. It's not good. I eat too much sometimes.
That's me with cereal. Where it's like I have a bowl, but then I pour. There's leftover milk, so I pour a lot more cereal in. It's like, I poured too much cereal for the milk. Let me pour some more milk in, and I've got another bowl all of a sudden.
Yeah, every time I have cereal, I always have more than one, but I can never have just one bowl. Especially if it's like a chocolate cereal. I always have more. I can never have one bowl.
What's your favorite cereal? What's your favorite cereal? Go on. I will judge you.
I'm trying to remember what it's called.
But I can give you my answer.
I haven't had cereal in quite a while now. But the only one that comes to mind that I remember really liking It's like, imagine like a little pillow, but it's full of chocolate. I don't know what they're called. Crave, I think.
Craves?
I think they're Crave. Yeah, I think it's Crave.
But it's hazelnut, isn't it?
Hazelnut, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, it is Crave. Yeah.
Just anything
They're
like
nice.
that where it's chocolate. Anything chocolate, I am in love with it.
There's so Kellogg's do like crunchy nut, where it's like crunchy nut cornflakes. I mean, where they have the cornflakes, but the other thing they do is just regular crunchy nut,
Right.
where it's like oats and cornflakes kind of fused together to make this
Right.
kind of like oaty thing, I guess. And they do multiple flavors. They've done like a honey flavor and all that stuff, and it was like I didn't really like it. It wasn't very nice. And then I had the flavor which is just the basic, the oats and stuff, but then they got these little tiny chocolate swirl kind of things in them. They're not like actually in them. They are just loose, tiny bits of chocolate. And oh my god, it is the most delicious thing I've ever
I
eaten.
think I've seen those before.
I bought some
yeah.
today. Like, I have bought them today.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't know what they're called or anything like that, but I
They're
think I can visualize them.
They're called crunchy nut clusters. That's what
Oh,
they're
yeah, those. I love them. They're amazing.
called. They're so
The
nice.
swirls, oh, yeah, they're good. And it's chocolate. Anything chocolate,
like
and I'm
chocolate.
obsessed. I'm
In
obsessed.
fact, I'm going to open the chocolate now. I'm going to open it.
Proceeds to ruin the audio by completely devouring a chocolate bar.
Hello and welcome to AcingGames ASMR.
Oh, God, no.
Hello, welcome to a mukbang, actually.
Well,
Even worse.
oh, God. On the topic of food, it ties into your question. Do you want to read your question out, or while your mouth is full of chocolate, I should read it out?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So,
I'll read it out. You enjoy your chocolate. I'll read it out. His question is very simply pineapple on pizza.
no.
He's devouring chocolate, so I will answer first. I'm a very neutral good kind of answer, where it's not for me, but I respect it. Apparently it's like kind of sweet or something. I've never had it. It's not my kind of thing to really try, but apparently it's good. Apparently, I don't know, I've never had it, but apparently it's actually not that bad. And,
Okay, my mouth's no longer full.
Okay.
So, my stance on it is that I absolutely love pineapple on pizza. And I know that's
Doesn't surprise me.
controversial to pretty much every single... What? You haven't even had it.
I know, but it just sounds like something that you would like.
But I don't know what it is about it. I'm quite a picky eater generally, which makes this even more ironic. But
Right.
like, my ideal choice of pizza at the moment is like specifically either a margarita or ham and pineapple, which is a Hawaiian.
Ham and pineapple.
And
Fun
the ham and
fact.
pineapple.
Fun fact about Hawaiian pizzas, they were not created in Hawaii. I think it was
Texan pizzas.
I think it was actually created in Canada. I'm pretty sure. I know Nico made an April 1st video. It's like facts about pizza, and the way that we normally do videos. So I edit for Nico BBQ sometimes, right? And the way that we edit them. So there was a Celeste one we done a few months back, and he had like this Google Doc full of like facts about the game, and I helped him write them. But the pizza video that he done, I didn't help him with it. That was something he done entirely, but he still had a Google Doc for it. So I just wrote down a few facts, and I found out that, the Hawaiian pizza was created in Canada. I think it was Canada. I don't know, but it wasn't where you think it was.
I love the Vancouver Velocity pizza.
Okay, no, sorry. I cut you off. You were saying something. I just had to say that.
Yeah, so I was just... It's fair enough, actually. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that. I think it's pretty called Hawaiian because it's pineapple, and people stereotype it with like sort of tropical islands.
I think so. I think it was just someone trying to like make their pizza shop stand out or something, so they called it that just to make it sound exotic.
Someone's trying to be funny. Someone's trying to be the funny man here. Anyway, so the thing about my ideal pizza of choice is a ham and pineapple, and I don't know what it is, but ham is the only meat that I really like on pizzas.
Right.
And pineapple, it's the best way. Have you had pineapple before, just as a fruit?
Yes, it's fine, I guess. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's like if I had it in front of me, I would consume it.
No, what I will consume, I wouldn't consume if it was in front of me. What I would consume is pineapple juice. Like,
Yeah.
oh my,
Pineapple
oh
juice is
my
pretty good.
God. But like how am I gonna say this? It's like the taste of it. It's a sweet sour mix without the juice, even though the juice is there.
Yeah, I mean,
And the taste is nice enough that it works, and I love it.
I think I can kind of imagine the taste, like combining ham with pineapple. I've never had them together, but I can try and imagine the taste.
A ham sandwich, but instead of the bread, it's just pineapple. Just slabs of pineapple.
Fact about pineapples, though. So the reason why, if you have like a chunk of pineapple, this doesn't apply when you're having it on a pizza, because cooking it like destroys this, part of it. But normally, if you have like a chunk of pineapple, uncooked, and it starts to like burn your tongue a bit, that's because it's actually like there's like an enzyme in the pineapple that actually like digests part of your tongue.
Yeah, there's actually that's because it's the sort of sourness of foods generally. Actually,
Yeah, but I think it's like very strong with pineapple.
I can't really outside of pineapple, it's fine, but when it's like a sugary sour food, I can't really eat it because if I eat even slightly too much, my tongue will burn.
That's fair.
Like it would actually hurt, and I wouldn't be able to taste things.
That's me with
for like
salt.
2 days.
I like the taste
No, I'm
of
the opposite of
salt,
salt.
but having too much and it burns. Like I was consuming popcorn the other night, and it was salted popcorn, but the salted popcorn that I bought it had like no salt in it. So I put some more salt, but it poured a bit too fast and there was too much. I didn't really notice it until I got to like the bottom of the bag where all of the salt was like piled. Yeah, that really stung my tongue.
Oh, actually, no, I'm the same as that. Actually, now that I think about it, but with pepper.
Oh, okay.
Not like the vegetable. I'm talking like salt and pepper kind of thing. One time while I was making my stereotypical spaghetti with tomato sauce pasta, I was pouring pepper on after having cooked it, after putting the sauce and everything was nice, and I was putting some pepper on, and the pepper grinder broke.
Right.
It didn't snap. It just the top of it, which you screw on, came loose, which meant that in my food I had poured peppercorns in, like full ungrinded peppercorns.
Right.
Alongside shards of peppercorn. So I still ate it, by the way.
Right.
But I had to filter it out constantly. And it was the most peppery thing I've ever eaten.
Oh, yeah, I'd imagine.
Not great.
I can't imagine that being good. I don't think I've really had, like, salt and pepper, to be honest. I think I have.
You absolutely have. It would have been in, like, chips or something.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I've never, like, gone out of my way to put pepper on things.
Your meal is some grinded salt and grinded pepper.
Oh, yeah, so I put salt on everything.
I mean, yeah.
But no, on the topic of pizza, so you said that you like, pineapple and pizza, that's fine. If you're ordering a pizza, what would you get if it's not that?
Margarita.
Margarita, okay, so simple then. Okay, I mean,
I don't like pepperoni, so
you don't like pepperoni.
I don't like the taste of the I'm sorry. I just don't like it.
I am more than a pepperoni enjoyer. I am absolutely obsessed.
You're a pepperoni stan.
I guess you could say that, yeah. So I would normally get pepperoni pizzas, but if I'm getting something from Domino's, there's a pizza on there called Meteor.
Oh god, you're one of those people, aren't you?
It's amazing. No. So normally I don't like very meaty pizzas, but I don't know. The Domino's one is. Amazing. Normally, I don't like pizzas that just have a lot of meat, but like that one in particular is just really. Shut the fuck up.
2 in a row.
I want to look
sorry,
it up.
continue.
I want to look it up very quickly.
I know exactly what you're talking about because my like 90% of the people in my schoolhouse order meteors or meat feasts.
That's fair. I don't know. It's really good. It wants me to type in my postcode. I'm not actually going to buy a pizza. I just want to have a look at it. I have to like select the nearest Domino's to me. Delivery unavailable. I don't care.
It's a bank holiday.
Yeah, I know. I just want to look up the pizzas. Hang on. I'm on the.
Can't wait for you to get a pizza the moment you can now.
Okay, yeah. So the Meteor one, right? Does it say what's actually in here? Like I know what's in here. I just need to actually find it. Okay, it contains a lot of pepperoni, bacon, meatballs, beef, and sausages. All of those on one pizza. I think it's barbecue sauce as well, which I normally don't like, but it's really good on this one particular pizza. It's really, really good. Oh no, I moved my camera again. This happened in the last one where I tabbed back into Minecraft and it tabs into the wrong instance of Minecraft. Acing just starts spinning around. I'll just try and readjust it. I think that's good. Right there. But no, it's really good. It's one of my favourites. I like it. Okay.
Fair enough.
But no, so that's pizza moment. Okay, I
One
can't...
more short question. So I'm assuming that because you dislike the salty popcorn, I'm assuming you're a sweet popcorn enjoyer, right?
No, I'm salty. I prefer salty. It's just...
Oh, I see. We're really doing the Splatoon Splatfest kind of thing here, aren't we? Because this is a Splatfest, mind you. This was the thing.
Was it?
I believe salty won. I'm going to go onto the wiki.
For anyone who doesn't know, Acing is a massive Splatoon enjoyer.
I have massive, like 3,000 hours.
Yeah.
In series.
I don't know how he does it. I've got probably combined across 2 and 3, probably about 40 hours. Maybe 50 at a push. And it was spread out over the course of a few years.
To answer the question, salty was the one that won.
Salty was the one that won. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, salt, I don't know, it depends what it is, but salt and sweet, I like them both. It just depends what it is, really. Okay, I'm trying to think if I could transition to the next question. I can't.
Should we just move on to the next question?
Yeah, I can't think of a segue to the next question, so I'm just going to say it. At what point does the sky begin? So, at what height or whatever does the sky begin? Just overall, just a bit of a thinking point.
The sky begins. The sky is an illusion, which is just a color of oxygen in the air.
AcingGames, I'm going to send you a nerd emoji.
Oh no!
You have earned yourself a certified nerd emoji.
The first nerd emoji of the night.
The first nerd emoji of the podcast.
Lion didn't get even better.
Lion didn't get one in the last one.
Hey, I'm in first place. Let's go.
You are the nerdiest of the nerd. But no. When would you say the sky begins? So he didn't have any notes. He didn't have any notes for this.
Yeah, I didn't. In 2D, it depends on where the sky is derived. You know how, when you were young, by the way, this is just going to be slightly irrelevant, but when you're in art class and stuff, you're drawing these little 2D pictures of houses and crap.
Right.
Did you draw the sky going all the way down? Or were you like one of the people who drew the sky where it's just blue
everywhere.
Like at the top?
Blue everywhere. Okay, everything above the grass is blue. Everything.
But I thought you said the sky is pink.
That's a random thing we have in our Discord where I just say the sky is pink, and it's like never mentioned. So that caught me off guard.
I thought I just had to do that. No, so I was one of the people until I realized, hang on, why am I drawing the sky just to be the top fifth of the paper? Doesn't the sky come all the way down to the horizon?
So hang on, you draw the grass or whatever near the bottom. And the blue sky at the top, but nothing in between.
Well, no, this is like 3-year-old me. Okay. Don't mind. This isn't modern day.
3-year-old Acing was very silly.
I was such a goober.
I
was on a lead. For God's sake.
I would press every emergency stop button I could when I was 2 years old.
I pressed every fire alarm I could.
I remember, apparently I was in a clothes shop or something at 2 years old, and I went underneath a pile of clothes or something, and there was a button which set off a few alarms.
Oh, you're preaching to the crowd here.
I have many stories
I was one of those
what
people.
I've been told that I've done.
I'd be with my parents, we're going into the shop because they wanted to buy something, and it's like a clothes shop and whatever. I would be inside the racks, I would be climbing in between things. I would be hiding under chairs and desks and tables. I'd be behind the counter serving them. Like,
From what I've been told, that was very me as well.
yeah.
I have no memory of it causing two, but apparently that's what I
Anyway,
was
the
like.
sky.
Yeah, the sky.
Yeah.
When does the sky
Anyway,
begin?
about the sky. I think the sky starts on the ground.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
Yeah. So
Actually, no.
I
The
wrote
sky
down,
starts when you're not on the ground.
Okay, so when you're not on the ground. Yeah, so I have two
you jump.
perspectives. Either one, anything above the surface is sky. So not much to say. Just anything above the surface could be considered sky. Either that or the clouds and above.
I kind of like to think of it. The other way I like to think of it is as a Minecraft render distance, where it's like this big semicircle sphere kind of thing,
Right.
where it's you walk around and in that semicircle you're not in the sky, but everything out of that semicircle is the sky, and it moves with you. So the sky is blue, but the horizon's also in the sky, isn't it? If we look at it, the sky starts on that horizon.
So what you're saying?
You don't
the
feel like
sky
you're-
is a cylinder that surrounds you.
Yes, it orbits me.
The sky
It
orbits you. The world revolves around you. Acing.
No, it revolves around the sky,
Rolls around the sky.
which revolves around it.
Okay.
Infinitely.
There's not really much to discuss with this one. I made a bit of a mistake picking this question because there's not much to discuss. But no, I think anything above the surface could just be the sky. Like, let's say you have a ball, you throw it up, and that ball would pretty much be in the sky. Like, it's subjective, I think. But I think anything above the surface is sky.
It depends on how you look at it, because technically it's in the sky, but it might as well not be.
I guess the sky could just be like anything that's higher than everything else around you.
Because I've got my right hand up right now. Is my right hand in the sky?
Could be. Depends on how you look at it.
Doesn't look like it. I'm inside. But therefore, the plane not in the sky.
I don't know. I thought you were speaking metaphorically, but
I mean, it's both ways. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I feel as if now I think about it a little bit more. I feel as if, let's say you're standing in a field and there's maybe like a little house in the background or something. I think anything above that house is the sky. Anything around you. So, like, if something is above what's around you, that could be the sky, I guess.
oh yeah, because then you have to think about it like when you think about like birds fly in the sky, and birds can fly like only like a few meters above the ground.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel as if, yeah, if something is above everything else around you, it's in the sky, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. I never really thought about it that much.
It's just one of
It's a
those
strange
things, really.
question. Yeah. I will say that the debate questions we have for this podcast, they're a bit weaker. The game ones is what gets the spotlight, I guess. I feel as if the game questions are better than the debate ones in this podcast anyway. The first one, the one we had with Lion, the debate questions were really good. We had some very good questions in that one. But the game
By
ones
the
in
way, a
this one are
toaster
pretty
toast
good.
spread, by the way. A toaster does toast bread.
The toaster toasts toast.
No, it toasts bread and turns that into toast. It doesn't toast toast unless you put the toast back in the toaster, which it's in fact toasting toast.
I mean, this was mentioned in
What do you put
Discord
in the
earlier.
What do you put in the toaster?
Bread.
And what does that turn into?
Toast.
Therefore, what is it toasting to turn into toast?
It's toasting the bread.
Which
But
means it's
becomes
toast. There you go, there you go.
toast.
Toast to toast bread. But yeah,
But
but
the
it doesn't
toast is toast.
It toasts.
You toast the toast. You can toast the toast.
No, but you think about it. Think about it like this. You put the bread in. I mean, obviously it can toast bread. It can toast as well. But it also it can toast waffles. It can toast croissants.
Croissant.
I'm not French.
Croissant.
Pain au chocolat.
I can't. My French accent used to be actually quite good from what people have told me. Yeah, no, not anymore.
Pain au chocolat.
It's completely deteriorated. But no.
Anyway, should we move on to
stray
one of the
away
game
from the
questions?
toast. This was mentioned in Discord earlier, though, but I do want to very quickly mention it. So, someone in our Discord mentioned... What was the actual question? Hang on, let me quickly find it. It was about
I don't know where you're
buttering.
going
It was
with this.
about buttering toast.
Oh, I think it was
Yeah.
Wolf.
So
Was it?
where does the butter on the toast go? Butter side up or butter side down? So something like that. No, you don't. I don't know anyone who would like spread butter on toast and then eat it with the butter facing down. That's
The butter on your hands. That's sort of that.
pretty much, yeah. Like that. No. If there's anyone who does that, if you're one of those people who do that, I'm not going to say anything. Actually, I feel as if you're one of those people, you probably have bigger life problems to worry about.
She's restraining herself right now. She's going to be angry.
The reason why I wanted to bring it up was because there was like one or two people who was very confused about my perspective on how I eat toast. So I think you kind of agreed with me on this.
I don't do it all the time, but I do.
I do it sometimes, like when
Exactly,
I'm
I do it
at Sean's and he hands
sometimes.
me toast, the butter's facing up and I eat it like that. But when I make it for myself, so I have 2 slices of toast,
Sorry,
with
yeah,
butter,
yeah.
and then I combine them. So it's pretty much like a sandwich.
She fuses them using nuclear fusion, and it becomes one larger piece of toast.
Yeah, I don't know. I have it like a sandwich sometimes. I don't know why I do it. There's no advantage to it. I just do it for some reason. I don't know when I started doing it, but I just do sometimes.
Actually, this conversation reminded me of something that I wanted to talk about. So I don't like food that's really cheesy.
You don't?
I mean, no. There one exception being a bowl of pasta. In that, I would love
Fair,
if it's like
okay.
spaghetti bolognese and I'm pouring cheese on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't like mac and cheese.
Pretty much
I never
same.
did.
I feel like it's just
But
too
there was-
sickly for me.
But there's one thing that threw me off. I saw a video at some point of someone making a mac and cheese, not mac and cheese, sorry, a grilled cheese sandwich.
Right.
And
Those are usually amazing.
What threw me off so much was the fact that they buttered both sides of the bread, and I was like, "Oh, that's fine. That's exactly what I was expecting." And then they put the butter side onto the pan, the butter side down onto the pan, and put the cheese on the other side that wasn't buttered. And I was like, "What is going on? What am I looking at? What is this?
Okay, I
What,
mean,
like evil virus of Satan am I looking at?"
right. So I need to confess that I kind of do that when I make them. So I make them in a, what's it called? I think it's a frying pan. I don't actually know the terms for all of these pans, but so
It's a skate
butter.
pan, yeah.
I butter bread. Sometimes I butter toast and then put it on because it just gets it crispier. But I know Sean. I only mention this because Sean, like, I made them with toast. I loved it. He did not, so I have to do it with normal bread for him. But
Made them with bread, you mean?
yeah, he has it with bread. I have it with toast. I toast.
Oh,
I
okay,
toast the bread before I make it, just so it gets crispy. It's nice. But anyway, so I put down the
And
bread,
there
toast,
are people
whatever.
who put it in the microwave.
That's something for another time. Anyway,
Okay.
but I butter bread or toast, and I put the butter facing down, because that way the outside gets all like buttery and it kind of like melts in. Not only melts, but it kind of like gets absorbed into the bread, and it just makes it all buttery and nice. But once the butter is face down and it's starting to toast or whatnot, I then butter the other side, and then put the cheese on, and whatever else I'm doing, then do the same with the other bit of toast, the bread, whatever. But I wouldn't just butter one side and then put cheese on the dry side. Like, yeah, you probably won't notice once it's actually cooked.
Because
the cheese will melt,
The way
but
that
it's
it
just
works with a
strange.
grilled cheese sandwich is that I think it's just to prevent the bread from burning.
Yeah,
So that it fries the butter rather than frying the bread. And I think obviously now that I think about it now, that makes a lot more sense. But
Yeah,
that caught
so-
me like so off guard.
I think it's just the fact that they didn't do anything with the other side in that. Like, yeah, the cheese will melt, but onto the dry side of the bread, like, I can't have a sandwich without butter or anything to like make it moist.
I was one of the weird. Remember how I said I was a picky eater earlier on? I used to not butter my sandwiches because I thought I didn't like butter because I thought I didn't like condiments. And butter, I realized butter was not really a condiment. And now suddenly I like butter. It's like, oh wow, what a shock. Now my sandwiches taste really nice all of a sudden.
I knew someone who had toast with nothing on it. They would just have dry toast.
Oh, I don't respect people like that. They just had dry bread, nothing,
just
no
dry
flavour,
toast with
just
nothing.
absolutely nothing on it. It's gross.
I don't get those people.
I love eating slabs of cardboard. Like, that might as well be what they're doing.
We love cardboard here on the Potato Fields podcast. Anyway, we can move on to the game questions now if you want to.
No. Sorry, what?
I'm surprised we got as much length out of the first questions. Yeah. Anyway, so this is your question, the first game one, if you want to read it out.
Yes. So what was my question? I need to go back to the DMs.
Do you not have? Yeah, he has no notes.
No, I was on the server because we were looking for who sent the thing.
He really struggled to pick out questions for this. I kept on bugging him about it, just telling him to come up with questions and then make notes. He came up with a couple of questions, and I had to provide a few, but
yeah,
he made no notes.
My question is, what is your favourite video game song that has lyrics?
I need to say first off that songs with lyrics I'm very picky about.
That's what I'm asking.
Are you the same? Or
most of my lyrics are Splatoon gibberish.
Gargling piss.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Can I start with this?
Because, yeah, go for it.
Out of the games that I have played and listened to, I'm pretty sure there's only 3 songs that have lyrics, and it's Smash Ultimate's theme.
Oh yeah,
Jump Up Superstar, Jump Up Superstar.
Yep.
And there's probably one more that I'm missing.
Yeah, I can't really think of many games with lyrics that I've played.
And obviously Splatoon and whatnot. And I don't know if I want to count that because they have lyrics. They have got lyrics that are translated, but they aren't discernible. They don't have meaning.
In this example, English. My voice.
Yes, I'm left with only.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Lifelight. Completely forgot, but
yeah, I'm left with 2 options. I think.
What have you got?
I mean, it's between Lifelight and Jump Up Superstar here. To be very honest with you,
so there aren't many that I can even think of because I just don't really play too many games. I mean, the games I do play, they just don't have any lyrics to them. The example I have, you haven't played it to my knowledge. You haven't played Deltarune yet, have you?
I need to. It's on my bucket list right now.
He had a long phase of saying he just doesn't want to play Undertale because he played it for an hour once and just didn't like it. But then we made him try it again.
It was literally 2 minutes.
Yeah, he didn't play much. And then we convinced him to try it again. And yeah, now he's in love. He's absolutely obsessed with it.
Don't get ahead of yourself. I'm obsessed with the music.
Okay, I mean...
I absolutely love the music of the game. I love it.
His phase has kind of died down a little bit, so he's denying that he was obsessed with it. But he was talking about it a lot. But anyway, so this...
It's because it was fresh in my mind. It's because I had just played it. No wonder. And everyone else here plays Undertale. So I'm like, I should probably put Undertale.
Mentioned it a lot in the last podcast. Undertale's amazing. Anyway, so there is... To not spoil it or anything, but there's one track in Deltarune after you finish the first chapter, while the credits are playing, there's a song that plays and it has lyrics. It's not very long, it's quite short. It's called Don't Forget, and I really liked it. I don't know. It's really good. I've just...
Is that chapter 1 or 2?
2 has a remix of it, but it doesn't have lyrics in that one, I'm pretty sure. But the one with lyrics is chapter 1.
To answer the question, I think I will just go with Lifelight. I think Jump Up Superstar is a bit overrated.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's very good.
It's good. It's really good.
What's the other one in Odyssey? I forgot what it's actually called.
It's the one that plays at the end when you're with Bowser.
Yeah, I know that, but I
forgot what it's called.
I forgot how it goes and everything.
What's it called? I'm going on to Google. That's the other one, actually. I'm going to choose that one because you reminded me that one exists.
I'm trying to remember the song in my head, but I haven't played Odyssey in years. I
It's
completely
Break Free.
forgot about it.
Lead
Break
the Way.
Free, that's the one.
It's
That's
Honeymoon
the
Ridge
one.
Escape. That's it.
Oh,
Honeymoon
yeah.
Ridge Escape.
Honeymoon. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, that one's
That one. I'm
pretty
actually
good.
going to choose that one now.
I prefer that one to Jumbo Superstar.
Oh, yeah,
personally.
absolutely, yeah. That's not hard.
I think there's
And
also...
then, if you want,
No, go on.
I could go with Splatoon songs as well, and that would just dominate my list.
Okay, what's your
unfortunately, but they
favourite
aren't
song
lyrics.
with gargled piss lyrics?
Well, I mean, I got
To clarify, I don't actually hate Splatoon. I only shit on it in front of him because
It's a bit
3,000
at this
hours.
point. It's a bit at this point.
Yeah, not everyone's
Like-
aware of that, so I do need to clarify. I don't hate Splatoon.
I mean,
it's
I'm
not that
very aware
bad.
of
It's
it
just
now.
not really my thing. But no, so favourite Splatoon track?
It's called Fly Octofly, and it's a bop. I mean, we played it in VC yesterday, as of
I think I remember.
what's
Yeah, I
the
think
date
I
today?
remember that one. It was pretty good. Okay.
do 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 do. That one.
Yeah, that
I
one.
sung it as well.
He
I
did.
could probably.
He did.
I need to. What I find really funny is that one song, which is like the most iconic one, which is Calamari Incantation. I know the lyrics to,
Right.
like
has the
the gargled piss lyrics,
How?
because I like it.
I mean,
He-
that's
like he-
fair. I've only heard
Fun
it
fact.
once, to be fair.
The
I forgot
first,
how
the
it goes.
first, the first line is like ya weni mare mi re hang on mi rikiara fuck ya weni mare mi rikia eri hira or something. I'm gonna
Right.
Google it now. Hang on.
I don't understand how you can like memorize the lyrics to that when it's. I guess it's
Okay.
just sounds at the end of the day, but and if you've
Ya
listened to it as
weni
much as him,
mare mirikya rahire juri yumirikerason kira hiari yori hera head nura hera nun yura un era yura wera niamerini. That's the first chorus. I hope the listeners are enjoying that.
I hope so.
I could sing it if you want. I can
Maybe
sing it
another
if you
time.
want.
Maybe
I'm
another
pretty-
time.
I will
I'm
refrain.
sure.
I will refrain.
I'm sure if they're interested, they'll look up the song to see how close you are. Okay. I mean, there's not really much else to say about games with the lyrics. We haven't really played too many. I mean, not enough games have lyrics.
I mean, I'm just going to
songs.
bounce on that. We'll make that really quick. What's your favorite just video game song, just generally now? I'm just
Oh
curious.
god. Oh god.
I caught you off guard with that because I wasn't
Yes,
on the
you
list.
did.
but,
You caught me very off guard.
I can give you my answer as well.
I will say,
Believe it
that
or not.
whatever my favorite is, it's always changing. But you give your answer first. I'll have a little think.
Believe it or not, my favorite currently is also Fly Octofly. If we're gonna go for one that isn't Splatoon, I would probably choose probably something from Galaxy, like Gusty Garden or Good Egg or something,
Cascade Kingdom
like
is
one of
pretty
those
good.
kind of songs. Or no, Champions Road as well. The Galaxy,
Oh,
the Gusty
yeah, that's
Garden
pretty
Galaxy
good.
remix
That's
in
pretty good.
3D World.
I'm just trying to think. Like, my favorite song in games, it's always changing. Right now, I'm obsessed with the Tears of the Kingdom theme.
Oh god,
I'm obsessed with it. But
I have to put out there that I way prefer the Breath of the Wild theme.
the Breath of the Wild theme is really good.
I love the Breath of the Wild theme.
The Tears of the Kingdom one is so good. I've listened to it so much, like too much. I'm very
fair
hyped.
enough.
I haven't been this hyped for a game since Odyssey came out. And Odyssey, for me personally, was a letdown. I didn't like it that much.
I think Odyssey for me, the problem I've got with Odyssey is that for me at least, it was really fun on its first playthrough.
Yep.
God, and there is absolutely no replayability to it. I don't want to play it again.
Yep.
There is
replayed
nothing
it.
that's drawing me back.
I replayed it a few times. I had a few friends who were Odyssey speedrunners. There's one who I think is actually still speedrunning it to this day, actually. Let me have a look. I'm curious.
Didn't
Hang on.
Nico do it at one point?
Maybe?
Was it Nico or someone else? I'm probably thinking of someone else, to be honest.
I don't know. Hang on. I'm going to look up the Odyssey leaderboard
Might
to see
have
if he's
been
actually still
Nathaniel
speedrunning.
It might have been Nathaniel Bandy, actually.
I actually forgotten who. But I just know that I had a few friends who were speedrunning Odyssey. And yeah, he's top 5 Lucidity. We used to actually be half decent friends, and yeah, he's top 5. That's awesome.
That's great.
But yeah, so he got me to do a few speed runs. I wasn't that good. I think my best was like 2 hours something, maybe 3 hours. I don't know. I wasn't that good. I learned a few skips, but no, outside of like speed running, the game had no replayability. I had a small like mini series where I like tried to like complete the game while I was holding the Joy-Con in the wrong hands.
Oh. Actually, I'm going to bring this up now really quickly. I was one of those people who was too stupid to realize that the reason that when I first got the game, the reason that the SMG1 controls were really weird because I was holding the controls in the wrong hand.
How do you do that?
I was like 4.
Oh, on the Wii. I was going to say like on
Yeah,
Switch.
Wii,
like,
yeah,
what?
obviously not Switch. No.
Yeah, I mean to be fair, it's not like holding the nunchuck in the wrong hand feels wrong. It still kind of feels like it works, and on some games I'm sure it does.
But feels right. It feels wrong, but it feels like you're meant to be doing it like that. And then
I mean,
you realise,
fair,
wait, hang on.
I mean, to be fair, if
you're left-handed, it'll be fine.
I mean, yeah, but you're still moving with your right hand, which most people aren't used to. I'm sure, yeah, you could get used to it, but it's unfamiliar. Just like, so my example was, I played Odyssey with the Joy-Con in the wrong hand. Just because I was bored for a few streams and wanted to be interesting, and I don't know, the first stream I did on it, this was like 3 or 4 years ago now. I am not making that public. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm not making them public. I might do it again at some point, we'll see. But the first stream was chaotic. I could not get used to the controls, but the second stream onwards, I actually just got familiar with it. Like, yeah, it's a learning curve, but like, it wasn't that bad. Like, over time, it just became a lot more familiar. Like, I was making very heavy use of motion control, so I didn't have to use the buttons that much. But it really helped. I don't know.
Now that you saying that remind me, I used to do a series on my YouTube channel called Game Stream Sunday, just a Sunday, singular Sunday. But I did it like 15 times. But one of them I did was a Mario Odyssey speedrun.
Right.
I'm also not going to make it public because I used Facecam at that point. And I was like 11. My run at that point, I think I got like 3 hours or something, 3.5 hours.
Okay.
And I was really proud of that. I thought that was great. I thought that was great.
Not that bad.
I came back to that off stream like 4 years later, so I was probably like 15-ish kind of thing. Right. I got it in like an hour 55 or something. I beat it by like 2 hours.
Oh god.
Because just 11-year-old me was too silly.
No, I don't remember what my best was, but I think it was in the 3-hour range. I wasn't that good at all. So
I've beaten it in less than 3 hours, absolutely, yeah.
I haven't actually played the game in years. I do kind of want to replay it, to be honest, to see if it's different after like 3 or 4 years of not playing, but I don't know, we'll see.
Just one more thing before we move to the next question. When you play 3D All-Stars on the Switch, are you split Joy-Cons kind of person, or are you I play with the Pro-Con kind of
Pro
person?
controller.
Oh, I'm a split Joy-Con. I can't get out there. We've done
Galaxy, Joy-Con.
Yes, Galaxy specifically.
Yeah,
okay,
Galaxy
thank
Joy-Con.
you. Sorry.
Joy-Con.
Just for Galaxy, I'm talking.
Just because Wii games like that, yeah, you need the Joy-Con. You need to mimic.
I just need the motion. I need the feel of pointing at it. I need the motion. I need the feel of looking at the
pointing
bar,
isn't that good. It like desyncs very often, but like it's better than playing with the Pro controller. Like,
I mean, hey, there's a button for that.
There is a button. Like you will get like when I played through Skyward Sword, I just got into such a rhythm of pressing the recenter button so often because I played it on Switch for the first time, and I got such a rhythm of doing that.
Now that I think about it, I would be a split Joy-Con thing if both of my Joy-Cons didn't drift and drift horrendously bad to the point where sometimes they sometimes when I'm playing other games, they just suddenly take priority.
Yeah, my drift
and I lose control for a moment.
So the set of Joy-Cons I got when I first got my Switch, No, I got my Switch a few months after launch. I got it like a couple weeks after Mario Kart 8 came out on Switch. And I'd say about 3-4 years after that point, my Joy-Con started to drift. So I replaced the sticks. Instead of buying new Joy-Con, I mean, I do have new Joy-Con, but that's for other reasons. So I replaced the sticks with Switch Lite ones, because I wanted the white ones, and they looked really cool. And they work perfectly. They're drifting again. Again. Okay, yep. I haven't replaced them yet, but I need to like fully like replace the shells, because I bought like pastel pink shells for my Joy-Con. They look really cool when I first got them, but now I know that the pink is very it's faded a lot. It looks more like brown now.
Right.
And it wasn't even heavy use. Like, it was just the color like wore down very quickly. Like, you can still very faintly see on like parts which didn't get touched much, like the edges of the buttons and the edges of the joystick, like on the plastic. That's still pretty much the same color it was when I first bought it. And you can just see a gradient from that pastel pink to the brown. It's a very strong gradient. Like,
yeah, I mean,
the color is just gone.
I've still got the greys, just the basic grey ones.
Yeah, I had.
They're 6 years old at this point.
So when I
haven't changed them.
My starter one was the neon ones. I had the red and blue, but they're the ones I made into pastel pink. My second set were grey ones. I bought them, I think it was soon before Smash Ultimate came out. I played it with a Pro Controller. I need to mention that. But I just bought a second set of Joy-Cons. And a few years after that point, I got very bored of the grey ones. So I bought clear shells, just to make the Joy-Con transparent. Look really cool. But the shells weren't made very well, and the measurements were like very slightly off. So like, it just, I don't know, it's just really weird. So Sean, I mentioned this on a stream not quite recently, but Sean bought 2 sets of shells. He bought a set of purple and a set of black, because he wanted purple facing. He wanted a purple face on his Joy-Con and black on the back. And the only way you could do that is if you bought 2 sets. It looks really cool, but he had no use for the black front and the purple back, because he only had one set of Joy-Cons and he didn't really care. So I asked him to like draw on the back of the purple ones, because he was going to give them to me. And now I have custom ones where the front of them are black and the back is like purple, but it's got a bunch of really cool designs on them that he drew, and it's really cool. But I really like it. I mean, anyone watching, I'll put up an image on screen right now. But like, it's really cool. He done the designs.
Those are some great Joy-Cons. Awesome.
Whoa, yeah, they are really cool.
They're cool, aren't they? Yeah. I think you showed them on stream before.
I have a few times, but I really like them. I don't really use them because I don't want to rub off the ink, because it was his sibling. I said the Splatoon word. He always freaks out when I say that word. But it was his sibling's pen. It was like a different kind of. It was a weird permanent pen. It was like a different kind of one. But anyway, it was. So he drew on the back, and I just don't really want to rub off the ink because it's already started to like chip off. So I just keep them safe, and I don't want to damage them. I've had them for a couple years now, and I like them very, very much. And I don't ever use them. I want to keep them very fresh. Acing, what are you doing? He's looking up at he's looking up at the ceiling.
Sorry, I didn't mean to nudge it. I looked away for a moment.
I just look at you. You're just like this, just staring at the ceiling.
Don't worry. I looked away. I wasn't even tabbed out. I just wasn't looking at the screen.
Okay.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, there's nothing else to say. We can move on to the next question if you want to.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to look up the scening while I say the next question.
I mean, the next question is mine, so I'll read it out.
That's a good point. Okay.
So it's quite a general one. Why is your favourite game your favourite game? Now, Splatoon over here. Why do you like Splatoon?
It's like, why do you like it? What is wrong with you?
I need to know why you like Splatoon. No, it's a good game. It's a good series. I just not really my thing. But yeah,
it's a good series. You're just mid.
I am, to be fair. But no, is there like a full in-depth reason why you like it as much as you do?
It was the night of December 25th, 2015.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time. In a galaxy far, far away. Okay, no. So I got it for Christmas when I was 10 years old for Wii U.
Oh,
and
yeah,
what
yeah,
makes it
the
really
first one.
funnier was the fact that I've said this before quite a lot of times. I got Splatoon and Minecraft Story Mode on the same Christmas. And you can guess which one I played first.
Was it story
I
mode?
played Minecraft Story Mode first. I played Minecraft Story Mode first. And I put it in. I played like 20 minutes and I was like, I want to go play the other game. It took me about a year to put Minecraft Story Mode back in. Because I realised that I played Splatoon for the first time. I was like, oh, this is really fun. I kind of like this. I
Next thing
more.
you know, a year has gone by.
And hang on. And then I played more. And I was like, wow, this is still really fun. I quite like this. So I played more. And I played then more, and then I played more, and then I played more. And then I got one of my friends into it who also played more. And therefore I had more reason to play more. The next thing you know, it's now the middle of 2016. I have sunk in a good 400 hours. And I was like 11 years old. And I was in love with the game at that point. It wasn't my favourite game of all time. I hadn't quite reached the point where I'd be considering things like that yet.
Right.
At that time, by the way, my favourite game of time was probably Mario Galaxy 1.
I mean, that's a solid choice. I think at that point, that was also my favourite at that point. So that's fair.
I just then Splatoon 2 came out. And so I played Splatoon 2. And then I played more. Then I played more. And then I stopped. I didn't really play from about sort of August 2019 to about August 2020. I did not play the game at all. Outside of outside of the Splatoon, not Splatoon. Sorry, outside of the COVID-related Splatfest they did that were reruns.
Right.
To put just do things for people. I was completely burnt out, and then at the end of 2020 I got back into it again, and that was the point when I realized, you know what I want to do? I want to get good. And so I basically grinded every day to climb like 10 ranks in every single mode, so that I could be in what's known as X rank, which is like the top rank, where you can't really go any higher. You're just fighting for power at that point. You're fighting for pride and power. And so it took me a while, and I got all four quite quickly, actually. Right. It didn't take me that long, actually. Not a while. And that was the point when I realized that Splatoon 2 is probably my favorite game of all time.
Right.
It was that point, was like, the fact that I love the game so much that I'm willing to grind my arse out to just get the pride of being able to say, hey, I'm in the top ranks for this. That was like a point where I realised Splatoon 2 was... Splatoon 2, mind you, we're not at 3 yet. Splatoon 2 is my favourite game of all time. And bear in mind, at that point in time, I was about 1,000 hours.
Only 1,000 compared to now.
And then, from that point, I never really got burnt out again.
Right.
Especially since, obviously, after about 6 months later from that point in time, Splatoon 3 was announced. Which basically skyrocketed me into enjoying Splatoon too much.
I will say that one direct where they announced Splatoon 3, we did not hear the end of his hype for about 2 months.
I cried myself to sleep that night. I was so happy. That was ridiculous excitement. You were reacting to the stream. I posted on Twitter. I was posting in multiple different streamers' chats. I was posting in a Splatoon streamers' chat. I ran out of breath mid-sentence. And I posted it in your chat. I posted it in the Discord server. I posted it on Twitter. I was posting it everywhere. And it was just me keyboard mashing. See, I posted it pretty much everywhere at that point. My excitement.
Yeah, so...
then I just stayed excited for Splatoon 3, and here I am now with Splatoon 3 as my favourite game of all time, because I liked Splatoon 2 so much, and Splatoon 3 is objectively better.
Wasn't there
then
like a period of time where you were saying that 2 was better?
That was at launch. That was a bit after launch at 3 because of... I said that because objectively, 2 is better on the basis that it has more content. Like, way more content. But that was because it's been out for 6 years and Splatoon 2 had been out for... Sorry, Splatoon 3 had been out for about a month. I'm at the point now where I think I'm still now leaning towards 3 because of competitive turn kind of thing time. The game is more balanced now, weapon-wise. It's not dominated by, like, 2. And maps are nice, you know, they're patching things and stuff.
I played Splatoon 2 about midway through its life, and like it was fine, I guess. I really couldn't get into it, and I just didn't enjoy it too much. I don't know what they changed in 3, but I enjoyed it a lot more. A lot more. I still very rarely like open it up. Even like they're doing the Zelda Splatfest like right now, and I am obsessed with Zelda. Like, I'm a massive Zelda fan, but I haven't played the Splatfest because I don't care for Splatoon too much. But like, I might try it at some point. I don't know when it ends. I think it's tonight, isn't it?
It ends at 1 o'clock, so you've got 7 hours as of now.
Maybe I'll try playing at some point. I don't know. But
you should be, by the way, because they've done some with the second day. They do this thing called Tricolor Turf War, which is 2v2v4.
Yeah,
where there's 3 teams, but normally it's done on a regular map, but they've added spawn points in the middle so that the 4 team can spawn somewhere.
right.
This time round, the map itself is quite literally a triangle.
Yeah, I've seen pictures. Like, it's on a Triforce, but apparently it's like a really small map.
It's absolutely tiny. One of the specials reaches literally the entire map.
Yeah,
you can reach from the middle of the entire map. It's really fun though. It's awful, but it's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't actually really played anything since I think the second Splatfest. I think it was the
one that you
Deserted
played with
Island
me.
one. I think that was the last one
Yeah.
I played.
Splatfest since then, they've done like Pokemon. They've done a Zelda one, obviously.
Yeah,
They did chocolates, like we talked about earlier. They did spicy sweet sour, like they did earlier. Like we talked
I think
about.
I was going to play the Pokemon one, but I just didn't. But no, like Splatoon is fine. I do prefer 3 to 2. It's still at the end of the day not really my kind of thing, but it is at the end of the day it's still pretty good.
Actually, one thing I will mention before we switch over to your opinion on the question. One of the most recent Splatfest outside the Zelda one was which one is real? Nessie, either Loch Ness Monster, aliens, or Bigfoot. There's an obvious answer there.
Right.
Nessie was the one that won, apparently, even though aliens are technically real. I chose Nessie because I didn't want to fight, like... I wanted to play the game, basically. I didn't want to be stuck playing myself.
Yeah.
In mirror matches where you're playing your own team. But one of the funniest things ever was I don't think I've ever, in the history of Splatoon, seen a team have so little votes. Bigfoot, out of the millions of players that played the Splatfest, Bigfoot only had about 8% of the votes.
8%?
8%, and then it was like 45, like 42 or something. I can't do the maths in my head right now. It was ridiculously low. It was literally 8%.
Huh. So I guess
like
when
that's probably less. There's only about 1 million people, I imagine.
That's crazy.
No, not a million. Actually, that's probably like 500,000.
It's tiny. Wow. Okay.
So small, and that resulted when people were trying to play the 2v2 mode, or the 2v2v4 mode. It resulted in Team Nessie and Team Aliens constantly stuck playing mirror matches, which are where you're playing members of your own team to fill time.
Yeah, because you can't matchmake with that team.
Because you can't. There wasn't enough players for Bigfoot to make a 2v2v4.
That's crazy. What? Huh.
And likewise, when you were playing the 4v4 mode, 90% of the matches for both teams were Nessie v Aliens.
Yeah, I'd imagine, especially if that's that few.
In fact, I played the entire day that day. I did not play Bigfoot in the regular 4v4 once. Not once.
God.
It wasn't until I didn't
8%.
see the 8 colour and until the tricolour, where I played like 2 real matches.
So how far behind
ridiculous.
were they, like, overall?
I
don't know
think
how
they didn't
rankings
win,
go.
obviously. Of course they
Really?
didn't win. Jesus.
If they did,
Yeah,
somehow.
no shit, they didn't win. But I'm gonna go. Hang on, I'll get the scores now. Let's have a look.
About a third of this podcast has been Splatoon related. I feel as if
not quite.
a chunk of it has.
So, votes. Hang on. What am I looking at? Votes. Bigfoot got 8.69% of the votes.
Right.
They won 32% of the matches in open regular games. They won 36%, and that's the most out of all three teams in pro. And they won 32% of the tricolour matches. But that's probably just because there wasn't very many matches that would have skewed them out of favour.
Yeah. Huh. So all the results would just be down to like how few of them there were.
Out of the matches they did play, out of the matches that Nessie and Aliens played against them, they were not too bad.
Okay.
But it was just such a small winning margin that it was ridiculous. I think the next one in line in regards to winning margin was 15%.
Right.
That's at least double digits.
Yeah. Probably double.
It's better than single. It wasn't even 9%, it's 8%.
It's very few of them.
Anyway,
yeah,
you can now answer the question.
How long has that gone on for? Hang on.
For about 10 minutes. I think probably I would imagine about 10 minutes. My recording on my end is about an hour 15 at this point. Yes. But I don't know how long that was pre-recording. So anyway, you can answer your question. I've had enough of
I can
rambling.
answer my question.
Let's go. Sorry, I had to ramble for a while.
I said before we started that he's free to ramble as much as he wants. And then I should have anticipated that Splatoon would come up at some point. Anyway, so the question, I will recap the question. Why is your favorite game your favorite game? I've not made it a secret that Minecraft is by far my favorite. My answer, I'm going to keep it short because I'd like to move on to the next question. But it's just the fact that it's a sandbox. It's very open. It's like a tool. It feels like more of like an artist tool, like an art tool, more than a game sometimes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Lets you be very creative. It's like a very good creative outlet, and I do like that. And yes, I am stealing the words directly from Good Times with Scar.
Yes.
But yeah, it does feel like an art tool, like a kind of 3D CAD software type of thing. That's what he said anyway. But yeah, I do agree with that fully. Also, it's also a very good like role play tool as well, in a way. You can just have you can be on like a server with people, and you can all have your own roles, and you can just try and like play a character, and it's really funny at times. But it's really cool. It's very open, and I do like that a lot.
It might be controversial of me to say, but I prefer Terraria, I think. And I just think I like Terraria more because I think I just prefer the way that it has just an end, first off.
Yeah,
and it has,
I mean, if you're one of those...
progression.
Yeah, if you prefer progression in games, I can completely understand that. But if it's creativity that you're looking for, Minecraft probably has more for what you're going for. It depends, though, because Terraria also has a lot of options.
I have quite a lot of creativity. I just do not have the, motivation to use it in Minecraft.
Yeah. I feel as if Terraria has when it comes to 2D builds, it's so much better. But Minecraft, I don't know, in general.
Also, Terraria has bosses. I like that.
But yes, if it's the progression you're looking for, Terraria all the way.
The panic that ensues the moment you summon the boss, oh god, here we go.
Or a boss is accidentally summoned. When you decided to summon Plantera, immediately.
No, the worst in the world is when it's you're in the middle of trying to prepare for one of the bosses, and when you enter hard mode or something.
Yeah,
and you break the demon altars, and once you break the demon altars, the criteria that allows one of the mech bosses to spawn, it's now can happen at random at night.
Yep.
So you're early hard mode. You're you're kind of prepared, and then you see the message oh god, here comes a reality check. I'm not ready. Here goes all my ammo to get into this boss that I'm going to lose against.
We had a few moments like that where so recently we done an expert mode playthrough, but it was like on stream, and anyone can join, and we would all like progress the game together. It was kind of fun, but there were times where someone would not get that memo, and they would rush ahead and summon a boss that none of us were prepared for.
I did that, but not with the bosses. I misunderstood something you said. Because I just read a message in chat and saw the word yes, and I sort of didn't realise what the message was saying.
You summoned the wall of
and
flesh
I broke the
when
demon
you
altars.
weren't ready.
No, it wasn't the wall of flesh. It was the demon altars. I broke a demon altar.
Oh, yeah, the demon altar. Yeah, so that particular day, I was quite stressed because I was trying to manage like progression, and I was trying to make it fun for everyone. And then, yeah, there was a lot going on. People weren't really hearing because it was just very chaotic, which fair enough. I don't blame anyone for that. But as soon as the wall of flesh was defeated, I wanted to end the stream, completely cut it there, and would save hard mode for the next stream. Acing runs ahead, smashes the demon altar, and
look, in my defense, I felt really bad about that afterward because
he did.
Like
the
moment you saw the message, I thought it said.
Yeah. So
basically, I think Zombie asked, hey, can we break the... do you want us to wait to break the demon altars? And you said yes.
Yeah,
what I thought that says was, can we break the demon altars? And you said yes. I went, okay, I'm going to go break them then.
But I think it was also 2 questions were being asked at once. And one I was going to say no to, and the other one I was going to say yes to, and he picked up on the wrong one. Which is fair. I don't blame him for that. It was fine.
But the reason I felt really bad about it is because the moment you saw the message in chat, you closed the world there. I just blundered.
I just got, at that point, I was just very overwhelmed with everything that was going on.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Because there were a few other instances where people were just doing things I was kind of hoping that they wouldn't do, and it was, and then that just felt like the same kind of thing. But it was a whole thing.
For the what was it called? The like. When we summoned the wall of flesh and stuff, I think I kind of I know I wasn't actually meant to summon at that point. I kind of just intentionally jumped to the gun by that point because people had been waiting in the underworld for like half an hour by that point for people to just come down. And I was like, look, I'm not willing to just let like someone specifically throw the doll in. Can we just throw the doll in and get on with it?
Yeah, it was difficult because we had some people who were ready to fight the wall of flesh. Like Acing was very ready, but he was very bored. There's nothing else for him to do. But there were other people who were still trying to prepare for it and weren't like nowhere near ready. But because it was like a stream where we all progressing at once, it was
I couldn't have really done anything else. It would have been boring for me to go back up and just try and find something else to do.
Yeah, it was hard.
It was a conflict of interest, basically.
I feel like if I ever do another Terraria playthrough, like on a stream, I need to figure out progression better. Because the problem is that the game progresses too much. If someone misses a stream, they're going to be so far behind. And it took us 10 streams to finish the entire game.
8, but one of them was
merged. Yeah, it was 10 streams, but two of those were just catch-up streams where we had to do catch-up streams where people could catch up if they had missed a stream, where we were going to do no progress. And just those 2 streams, I was bored the entire time.
Yeah,
because I was already caught up. But I don't know. So
I was the exact same.
If I were to do another Terraria stream, I need to completely redo it. I'll have to mod it or something. Because the game is great with a friend or two, 1 or 2 friends. But if you're doing it with 10 people, and if any one of those people miss a session, they're going to be behind, and it's going to be completely just not fun for them.
That problem, honestly, would be solved if we did it on normal mode, not expert.
Yeah.
Because normal, then it would not be that big a deal. You would still have weapons you could use. In expert, the mobs themselves have so much more health that it's going to be way too difficult because you missed a stream. If you're 2 armor sets back, you'll still be able to fight. It'll take longer, but you still have a chance. That's because in normal.
I don't know. I think it was also just not helped by the fact I just really couldn't be bothered to spend hours grinding for things, which you kind of had to do. I wanted to do the grinding as well, but I could see that it wasn't really my business to try and get you to let me do that. It was just difficult because I was trying to manage progression for 10 different people, and I was trying to keep it fun for everyone. I didn't want there were a couple people who done the first 2 streams, they missed one and they never played again. because they were so far behind and they just didn't want to catch up because it was just too much work, and I completely understand that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to skip the next question because I have nothing. The question was, what's your least favourite game? I have nothing. If you have something to say, sure, but I have nothing.
I can answer it. And I think my answer is pretty funny because it's not actually my least favourite, but there's a reason why I think I associate it with that.
Right.
It's Call of Duty Black Ops on Wii.
Okay, on Wii.
I did not play there on Wii specifically.
Okay.
I did not play the single player in that game. I only played zombies. The game did not force you, even though the game required a nunchuck. The game did not tell you that if you had no nunchuck plugged in, you need to go and plug in your nunchuck. So, like, 6-year-old me would boot up the game and load up a zombies game with the Wiimote and no nunchuck and not be able to move at all and just be stuck in place looking and shooting the zombies and then running out of ammo and losing. So I therefore despised the game because I didn't know what it was that I was missing.
That is amazing. No, so
I just find that funny.
Call of Duty Black Ops is really good. It's one of my favorites. But on the Wii, it's horrible.
On the Wii, it's awful. I actually ended up selling it as well.
I still have it. But
I didn't willingly sell it, by the way. That was like a sort of parents getting rid of the things that I didn't want. I would never sell it anymore, Jesus.
I have the little gun, like the Wii remote gun thingy. That you put the nunchuck into and everything, and that helped a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's still a Call of Duty game on the Wii.
Yeah,
it wasn't good at all.
No.
Oh, that's a funny one though, to be fair. But
yeah,
no,
I just think I'd bring that up.
Yeah, the reason why I'm not really answering is because I kind of answered it in the last podcast. I mentioned that it's not specifically my least favorite, because I don't really have a least favorite, but I just mentioned that I don't really like any N64 game because I just can't get into any of them. But it's not specifically me hating them, it's just me not really liking the console that it's on.
I think the other thing that people need to realise, and they need to take their nostalgia like tinted glasses off, is that N64 games, they have not aged well at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Pretty much all of them.
Like, yeah, I'm sure they might still be playable, they might still be good, but I don't think
they don't look very nice.
Well. Yeah, I don't know.
They really don't look very nice. So yeah,
I can't say
anyway,
too
let's
much.
move on
I
to the
just
next question.
don't know much. Yeah, so that's it for the gaming questions, which took up about half this podcast. Pretty good questions.
I talked a bit too much about Splatoon.
So the next one, I have nothing cool. So in the last podcast, to recap, I spent about 15-20 minutes talking about injuries that I've gotten over the past in my life, and I'm trying, like, I can't think of any answer to this question that doesn't involve an injury, and I don't want to do injuries again. The question is, what's the most dangerous thing that you've ever done? And I can't think of anything outside of injuries, and I want to save the rest of my injuries for another podcast.
I mean, I have a boring life in the sense that, like, I don't have many stories that other people do. So it took me a really, really long time, actually, to think about what I wanted to do to answer this question. And, like, the best that I can think of was, like, I think a few years ago, I went to France, shock horror, on holiday. And I think at one point, we did it with, like, family friends. It was, like, a joint family kind of thing. So there were two families involved.
Right.
And the dad of the other family took my dad, me, and my siblings and his children to this, like, river in sort of, like, the woods kind of thing. And we did rock jumping.
Oh, okay.
But the rock jumping, it was, like, this very, very, very deep bit of water. There's no way you're going to land on a rock. And the rocks themselves, there was none, like, on the bottom. It kind of, like, it curved it back inward, so you couldn't jump off and land on. You couldn't have jumped off and landed on a rock. You couldn't. It just couldn't happen. And that is the most dangerous thing I've done.
You know
and
what?
There wasn't really much danger in there.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that as well. Actually, it wasn't in France. I don't actually remember where it was. It was somewhere in Devon, somewhere. I don't know, but it was, by the sea. I told Lion in the last podcast, I don't like swimming in the ocean. I mean, that
like
part,
if
it
I'm
wasn't
doing
that
surfing.
deep. Like, it was deep enough that I'm not going to die when I jump into this water. It's fine, but it wasn't, like, super deep. It was
First off,
fine.
can you swim?
I can swim, yes. I can swim.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure because
No, I can swim. I'm fine.
good. Just that's concern number one out of the way. As long as you're not getting into the deep ocean without being able to swim.
No, I can swim. But, so what we were doing, it's hard to really describe what this thing was without going into too many details. It was just like a kind of like activity thing where we went away for a week and just done a bunch of activities. One of those activities was, I don't know what they called it. It was like a rock walk type, ridge walk, I think they called it. I don't actually know, something along those lines. But it was basically jumping off bigger and bigger rocks into the ocean.
Oh.
It was all safe. It was fine. It started with like a little 1 meter, like few feet jump into the water. It was fine.
Oh.
I can do that. That's nothing.
Jumping off a ladder, like.
Then it went to probably about 2.5 meters. So that's
A bit scary, yeah, but not too
about-
bad still.
Yeah, that's probably like 7-8 foot. And then we went straight up to 10 meters.
Okay.
So what, like 30, 40 feet? No,
Yes.
no, a lot more than that. That's actually about that, I think. Basically jumping off a cliff.
Yeah, pretty much.
And everyone else, I mean, there was like 4 people in this group on that specific day. So one person didn't want to do it, which was fine. So there was 3 of us and the instructor person standing on the edge of this cliff, looking down to a huge drop and then water. 2 of them were fine. They jumped in without much problem. Me?
Yeah.
Me?
I think I respect your opinion a lot because I have a fear, not a fear of heights, but a fear of being up high and then looking down at how high I am. It's not a fear of the idea of being up high. Like I can be in a plane just fine, as long as I cannot see the direct height that I am at.
I think with me, it's if I'm on a surface which is completely stable and there's no risk of me falling off, I'm fine. Like, I
Yeah,
can
I
look
think
down to something which is really far below me, and as long as I know for a fact that I'm safe, I'm fine.
There's I've been up the Shard in London a few times, and on one of the floors, hello, sorry, I was tapped out for a sec. On one of the floors, there's like a sort of cafeteria kind of thing, but there's also platform. There's also
Just
platforms
stopped
that you
to
can
hydrate.
stand on.
Right.
So I started drinking, but definitely not piss. Anyway, there's basically a floor where you can stand on like a slight glass platform that goes out, but it's glass and therefore you can see through.
I
And
think I've seen
you're
videos of
completely-
that.
You are completely safe, but you're on the platform. It's made of glass, and you are standing directly above a like 150 meter drop, and it's
Yeah.
glass, and you are on above that, and it's like, you know that feeling where you suddenly go down, like you're in a car and there's suddenly a little drop
Yeah,
because
that
you're going
little
over
drop.
a bridge or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
That sensation where it's like,
Yeah.
you don't really want to be
no.
standing on that.
Yeah, I could never do something like that. Could never.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
What are your thoughts on like I don't actually know what they're called, but like a swimming pool that's attached to a building, but it's entirely glass. Like the bottom of it is
No.
glass. Like you
No.
can see, you can look down while you're in the pool. You can
Your
look
answer's no.
down, and there's a huge drop.
Your answer is no.
I would never do that.
I went to on holiday once. I went to a place called Goa in India, and one of the pools they had in the hotel it wasn't like terribly dangerous, but the pool, one of the edges of it was like, instead of you get out and you walk off, you get out and sort of the plating of the wall of the pool, it allowed the water to like flow off.
Right.
And when I say off, I mean it flow off down like a dam kind of thing, a very small miniature dam without water on the other side, into like the woods. but it was like a drop.
Right.
Off that side,
yeah,
and
I
you
could
just-
never.
I can get in the pool. I can get in the pool. I can get in the pool. I'm not going anywhere near that side of the pool though. Nowhere near it.
God. Yeah, no.
It just drops off. It's not obviously like a dam, but it's like a dam kind of structure.
Yeah, I get that, but yeah, I could never.
Yeah. And there were people walking on that side, mind you, and sitting on it and sitting with their legs in the pool. Like,
What's wrong with people?
what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I could.
People are have too many guts, to be honest.
I know. I don't get how people do that. But no, back to the rocks. So at this point, we had already jumped into the ocean a few times. Very salty, by the way. Obviously, you know the ocean's salty, but
Well, yeah.
it was very, very salty. Anyway,
It's an ocean.
I know, but it was a lot more salty than I thought it would be, especially when I accidentally swallow some.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway,
swallowing seawater, lovely.
it wasn't nice at all. Anyway, I was stood on this cliff for probably about 15 minutes, probably longer. Had a long back and forth. This instructor, it is safe. There's no chance, because it wasn't like what you mentioned where the cliff went back. It didn't. It went forward. So I look below me, and there are rocks in front of me.
So you have to leap.
I have to leap forward. I would have to intentionally not jump very far to land on those rocks. I was gonna be
But
fine.
it's still scary.
Yeah, I have to actually try to land on those rocks to land on them. But it's the fact that I know that I have to fall forward. Otherwise I'm gonna die. But it was still safe. If you jump like a normal person, you're gonna be fine. But it's just no. I did end up doing it. He had spent 15 minutes or whatever. I don't know how long it was, but it felt like that. Just convincing me, it's safe. I'm going to be fine. But if I want to back down at any point, I can. But it's a bit of an awkward climb, so we had to literally rock climb our way up. Free climb our way up from next to that water. So we had to climb up 10, 15 meters. It wasn't nice. I didn't like it that much. But it was kind of sloped. So it was fine. But at one point I was just right, took a deep breath. Was right, fuck it. Jumped in. I felt like I was underwater for an hour. No, it was 3 seconds. It felt like it. But yeah, I was fine.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Yeah, I was happy with myself because that's the furthest I've ever fallen. I was completely fine.
The furthest you've ever fallen.
So the furthest I have ever fallen. It wasn't even that far. It was actually quite high. It was a pretty big drop, but it felt like a lot high. I was falling for what felt like forever. I jumped, plugged my nose, and I was just falling forever. It took so long to land, but it was a second. 1 second. But it felt a lot longer than that.
Yes, I love falling longer than you have. Anyway, should we move to the last?
Yes. Oh.
Sorry, I knocked my mic over trying to open the tab. Apologies. What is the final one?
Yes. So this, I added it in because I know there's something which I'm hoping you'd discuss in this podcast. What is something that you've done, anything that you've done that you are most proud of?
I could be funny here or I could be real here.
It's a bit of change of topic from jumping off of cliffs, but
Yeah.
what are you most proud of?
So I was in English class once.
Right?
Completely not what you want. Okay, I'll go into two.
No, go for the English class.
This isn't actually the most proud of, but this is a proud moment of mine. Where we were tasked in the class to write a 500-word story about a hand. Sorry, a hand that was sentient. I mean, not
Sentient
proper
hand.
sentience, but
Right.
the hand that was an evil hand, master hand kind of thing.
Oh my god, that's a reference.
And I wrote a story about the fact that it was made of marble,
Right.
and it could fly, and it was haunting someone and trying to kill them.
Right.
And I wrote a story. I wrote that as a story in about 500 words. It was pretty simple, pretty straightforward. My teacher liked it so much that she herself read it out in front of the class.
Oh.
And it wasn't I had to read it out myself because she liked it. It was she liked it so much that she read it.
I mean, that's definitely impressive.
And she was like handed to the class as well as like photocopies. Like, what on earth is this? I've never had this much praise about academic work in my life.
Yeah, I get the impression that he's actually quite good with his writing. There was like a thing a few months ago now where I really wanted to write like a short story related to like, you know, like just a story. And he offered to help because, like, you know, he can write.
I'm decent at creative. What makes it even funnier is that I don't read books at all. Nothing. I don't.
Really?
It doesn't happen. Nope, nothing.
Huh. Like, you
My
typically...
attention span is too small.
I mean, that's fair. But I mean, like, people who write typically also read.
I mean, I'm an ADHD guy. I can write, I cannot read.
I mean, that's fair.
I think it's interesting.
I mean, it's hardly comparable. Like, I can't really write. I don't really read either. Like, sometimes... Like, Sean bought me Ready Player One, like, a couple months ago, and I've, like, read not that much of it. But, I don't really read that much. I spent, like, a month reading all 4 Hunger Games books. But, like, I don't really read.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't read either. Like, I just don't. I think the last thing I tried to read a book was, like, 4 years ago.
As a kid, I was obsessed.
I got, like, 20 pages in.
I was obsessed with Diary of a Wimpy Kid as a kid.
Who wasn't, to be honest?
It was really good, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I'd still be obsessed with it.
I had my own Diary of a Wimpy Kid called Tom Gates.
What?
And it was a pretty similar kind of style to Diary of a Wimpy Kid, where I had like lots of drawings and stuff in the book and whatnot. And it was just quite interesting. I still actually, for no apparent reason, I still remember the first line in the first book, like the first thing I read ever.
It was that impactful.
I could read it to you if you want.
If you really want to.
It was even though it was like, what was it? Even though I only live 4 minutes away from my school, I'm often late, and that is a mood.
Acing lives at his school, but I'm sure he's late.
I live there, and I'm still late sometimes. No, anyway, if you want the real answers to the question, though, obviously you want me to mention it, but it's my mod.
Yes. Talk about your mod.
So, I'm making a mod for new Super Mario Brothers Wii that thematically puts different Mario Galaxy levels into the game, but with new Super Mario Brothers style level design.
Basically combining Galaxy with Mario Bros. Wii, putting it in the game.
Technically, this has already been done as well.
Has it?
But in a different style. So there was a mod that a person called Asu-chan was making.
Right.
Called New Super Mario Bros. Wii The Prankster Comets, which took the comet style and put them in the base game NSMB Wii levels. Whereas so in my case, it's the inverse of what I'm doing.
Okay.
It was cancelled, unfortunately, and the sources are still out there, so you can still technically play it, but you'd have to compile it yourself.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate, but you know, it was actually looking really promising as well.
Sounds quite cool.
Because they did every single comet they could have done outside of, I believe, Romp and Double Time, where Romp is the one where you have to kill the enemies before the time runs out, and then Double Time is just fast foe.
That's cool.
But they did like Purple Comets, they did Clone Comets, they did Cosmic Comets, they did Speedy, they did Daredevil. And it was really, really interesting. But that's like the complete inverse of what I'm doing. Because what they did, were they taking specific like concepts and challenges from the Stars of Galaxy and putting them in the new Super Mario Bros. Wii base game levels. Whereas in my case, I am taking the galaxies themselves and putting them into the base game level design. Where it is quite literally it's hard to describe, but it's quite literally the flip, the other way around.
What galaxies have you like shown off so far? I've forgotten the name of them, but the few that you've shown off so far, they're looking really good. Like you've made like how many tile sets, like based off of everything, and
well, every single level thus far, I believe, is using at least 2.
Yeah, like from what he's shown, like I don't know a lot about modding.
So I've done as of right now, I've done. What I haven't done, I've started conceptually. Beat Block Galaxy, Toy Time Galaxies, that's finished. Boy Base Galaxy, that's finished, or Boy Base. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's the B-U-O-Y. I think it is Boy. Supermassive Galaxy, Dreadnought Galaxy, Honey Hive Galaxy, Flash Black Galaxy, which I really want to finish soon, but I can't think of anything to do with it.
Right.
Cloudy Court Galaxy, which is done except the tile set. I want to redo that because
I think you've shown off. I think the first time you spoke about it to me, I think you were showing Cloudy Court, and just the idea
showing
of
Toy
it.
Time actually, because I did Toy Time last
Yeah, I think it was
August.
Toy Time, but then you shown off Cloudy Court. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, that was I think next.
But just that looks so cool to me. And you spent.
Yeah.
I know you spent. What is it? No. You were really struggling with beat block because making the beats work in Maryborough was weird.
It was the beat, the timing themselves is fine. It's the fact that there is no such thing in the game that allows tiles specifically, not objects, but tiles, to change at a certain point in time.
Right.
So as this level starts right now, it can be completely fine. You won't have any problems. But the moment that you take damage, the moment that you collect a power up, the moment that someone like bubbles, or the moment, something like that, or the moment you go through a pipe, the music will continue playing, but the beat blocks will be synced as if the pause in time happened. So therefore, the beats would be completely out of sync, and there is nothing I can do to that. Someone has actually offered to code an object that allows me to change things with the bar kind of thing, but they haven't done it yet because they've been stressed with school and stuff. So it's going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine that's probably one of the biggest problems, I'm assuming. But
It's the biggest problem right now.
Yeah, I can imagine it's going to be a pain because, it's not the game itself. Whereas Wii is, has nothing even remotely similar to that.
Yeah, I can't do anything with that. On the other galaxies that I have done as well, Cosmic Cove isn't done at all. It was like I made the worst tile set ever and showed it for about half a second in the trailer. That's all you guys have seen from it. Absolutely all of it. I dropped something.
That trailer that you made, like the first one, the announcement
well.
one, it popped off really well. But I think you've shown a bit of behind the scenes of it, and it was so like, so.
I showed it to you. I
makeshift
showed it
and
to
done.
you guys. I didn't show it like publicly. I've showed it in my
it was shown
server as well,
privately.
the actual mod server. But
It
like
was very,
Ham is the only person who's played it thus far,
That's fair.
outside of me, obviously.
Like what was in the trailer was like not even remotely close to done, which is a normal thing in trailers. But like
Only 3 of the levels were done by that point.
yeah, but I just find it really interesting how that's what you're doing, and I am really looking forward to it. Like that is definitely something I really want to play when it comes out.
Yeah, kind of want. I know SBG. He was like the reason it was the trailer popped off as well,
Oh yeah,
because the trailer was getting a decent traction to begin with. It was getting maybe like 10 views an hour, which that was really good
it was pretty
for
good.
me. And then SBG posted into his server as it was. You know how like it sometimes starts to die down a little bit.
Yeah,
He posted it in a server which allowed it to level out again. And because it leveled out, I think it just got pumped into the algorithm at some point. And I started getting, like, I kid you not, I think one day I got like 10,000 views
that's insane.
on it in one day. And now it's at like 4. I mean, it's flatlined completely now, obviously. It's peaked at about, right now I think it's like 104,000.6.
That is really cool.
Which is unimaginably high for me.
Yeah, that is huge. And I am really looking forward to seeing this, like, as it gets more developed. But
What
like,
makes it even sadder is the fact that if you take into account the amount of levels that I have started, and imagine I finish all those levels, that's only going to be about a third of the mod.
third of the mod,
I've got a long way to go.
a long way.
So the most recent galaxy I did was Loop de Loop, and that is more or less finished, outside of a couple tile set things I want to do. The one I am working on now, which I have not actually said to anyone, mind you,
Right.
is Bubbleberries.
Oh,
So,
how's that gonna work?
the new Super Mario Bros. Games have a water ball object.
Right.
That means I can. They're these big bubbles. You don't
just
think
sat on
that's
the
it.
sense of
It's
me
just
to
out
do
of my
that.
head. Yeah. They are these big balls of water
Right.
that you swim in. And they have 3 different shapes. They can move around a lot. So I was thinking I could just thematically put Bubbleberries in with the poison water and like the weird rock spike things. Just make it a bubble level.
Yeah, so I guess, like, gameplay-wise, functionally, it won't be anything remotely similar, but the theming, it will be.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm aiming for.
And that's really cool.
With Loop-de-Loop, it doesn't play at all like how Loop-de-Loop would play, because that's a custom manta ray surfing object.
Yeah, you've turned it into an auto-scroller, which is very similar to what it's like in the actual game.
I had to do an auto-scroller to make it feel close.
Yeah, I feel like if it wasn't an auto-scroller... Yeah, if it wasn't an auto-scroller, I don't think it would work.
It wouldn't work. Well, it would work, but it wouldn't feel like the Galaxy.
Yeah.
It would feel like its own thing.
And I feel like that's part of the theming. It has to do that.
One of the problems I've got with the mod as well is that there's a lot of, like... There's obviously not going to be very many clashes for theming.
Right.
Like, when there is a theming clash, like Beach Bowl and Sea Slide... I'm just going to do one of them. Like, I don't need to do both. It's pretty obvious that it's going to be the same level twice.
Yeah.
Like same with Gold Leaf and Honey Hive. I'm not going to do
Gold
Leaf.
I was just thinking that. It's pretty much the same thing, just different kind of like season, I guess.
Yeah. And if I'm going to do a gimmick for Honey Hive, what am I going to do for not Toy Time? It's Gold Leaf.
Yeah.
So there's just nothing I can do with that.
One thing on my mind is, how are the worlds going to work? Is it going to be like a world per dome kind of thing?
Oh, it's all going to be one big world. The Comet Observatory is going to be the hub, ideally.
So,
like, Newer has these. Like,
oh yeah, because it's based off Newer, isn't it?
It's based off Newer, so it has these 2D flat like hub. So it's all going to be one big world, ideally.
Okay, yeah, that's really cool.
The levels are going to be staggered, but there isn't going to be a progression where you see the world changes. It's just going to be climbing the observatory.
I like that a lot.
And I've got a really good visualization of it on my head. I am terrified to actually put it in game.
Well,
so because it's a flat, because bear in mind it's flat. It's not a model. It's flat.
Right.
That's how they work, and it's tile set as well. So anyway, I was talking about how there are a couple of thematic clashes, which I mean I can dodge by just doing one of the levels that have them.
I guess
But the problem I've got actually is the gimmicks. There are a lot of clashes for gimmicks, unfortunately.
Right.
Where there are some levels which I can make it really distinct and easy. But then there are other levels where I feel like I could do both different thematically, but what can I change about the gimmick? So, big example of this is actually Loop-de-Loop and Bubble Breeze. To allow mechanical progression during the level design in Loop-de-Loop, I got rid of the water at the bottom and replaced it with some water balls that move. So it allows, it's a bit more difficult, a bit more scary. But then, the direct next level is about water balls entirely. And it's kind of a clash, in a way.
What if you were to, combine them into one level?
I can't do that. They're too different. They're way too different. And likewise, I want to do Bubble Blast Galaxy. And I don't have the guts to put bubbles in that one. And I was thinking about using something that's completely irrelevant to bubbles entirely for that level.
Right.
Like, there's this, chain elevator thing that exists in the game.
Chain elevator?
That slowly goes up. I think it's 6 tower, I think, where you're outside and it just goes up. But it wouldn't feel like the Galaxy anymore. Obviously it'd look like it, but it wouldn't feel like it.
Yeah, I think...
So if I want to do that Galaxy, I'm going to have to stray away from it or repeat myself, which will feel a bit weird.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's going to be quite difficult to do some aspects of things if you're trying to, keep it as faithful to the base game as possible. But, there are many things that you just can't do in Mario Wii.
One Galaxy I really, really want to do is Ghostly Galaxy from 1.
That would be a cool one.
But the fact that it's a building means I'm going to have the most packed, unbelievably detailed tile set that I'm going to have to make.
Yeah,
out of Galaxy textures modelled. And it's I don't think I have the guts to do that. I think I'll probably base it off the second star, which is a very spooky sprint. But then how am I going to do that?
Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of galaxies that are going to be very tricky to do.
Yeah, there are a few that I'm the worst actually is the Bowser ones.
Oh yeah, those.
There is no way in also in case it isn't obvious, I'm not putting any of the 1-star ones in, with one exception that I'm not going to say. Actually, I'm going to say I'm going to put Sweet Sweet Galaxy in there. It's a very simple,
Sweet to be really
one.
good. Yeah, okay.
It's a conveyor one, so it might work. But I think, like, how do I say it? Like the Bowser ones, tile set wise, I can make it really interesting, but none of them really have a proper gimmick outside of one, which I'm going to do, which is Fearsome Fleet from 2.
Right.
Which is the Yoshi one, where you fight Mega Hammer.
Yeah, that one's cool.
I could do that one, because that one is like moving platforms where you're being shot at and stuff. I can do that. But literally all the other Bowser ones in both games either don't have a theme, or have a theme I can't recreate. Or not a theme, sorry, a gimmick I can't recreate.
Yeah, and I can see that being a pretty big problem, especially
like
when...
if you look at Galaxy 1 especially, all 3 of the Bowser Jr. ones, they revolve around one theme, and it's just a boss fight, that's it. Like one is the first one for the Terrors is just the boss fight. Like the one planet, then just going to the boss. The Bowser Jr. one, which is the Airship Armada, I can do, but then it will just be an airship level. It'll just be a basic airship level.
Yeah.
So, and then for the 5th one, it's just King Caliente again. The Bowser ones, they don't have... The only one that has a gimmick, or like a specific one I can revolve the level around, is Dark Matter Plant, but that's Gravity. I can't do Gravity.
Yeah, anything gravity related you can do in Mario Wii, and a lot of galaxies, fun fact, in Galaxy, have gravity.
Yeah. Actually, fun fact about the game as well, there is a mod that someone made that allows gravity to go upside down for everything.
Ooh, right.
But it is not compatible with newer.
And
I can't, therefore I cannot use it. I think one more thing about the mod until I can move on, because I want you to be able to answer the question as well. Because I've realised I have talked for how long have we been going for now? I think I've been talking about this specific thing. Yeah, I've been talking about this mod for about 20 minutes now. I'm going to move on very swiftly. One more thing I want to mention.
I do apologise if I've been pretty quiet. There's not a lot I can say, but it is really interesting to listen. It's fine.
One more thing I will mention is that I'm going to try and get nearly every single one of the main galaxies from the first game in.
Ooh.
The second game has too many.
The second game's a lot.
I feel like, because most of the galaxies in that game are like 3 stars.
Yeah.
With the exception of like a couple which are 2. There's no galaxy in that game outside of... No, I just don't think there isn't even an exception to that. There is no galaxy in that game that has only 1 star. So pretty much every single galaxy in the game is one of the main ones. And I cannot do that. So I'm kind of just pick and choosing.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way of doing it. Just pick the ones that work best, just so you don't have to have anything which is yeah. Because then you don't really want like a bunch of like low quality ones. You just want like the best.
Especially since Galaxy 2 has a lot of clashes with themes.
A lot of clashes, a lot of galaxies to begin with.
Too many.
Yeah, too many.
I have had a really interesting idea for the ball levels though, the Star Ball ones.
Yeah, how are those going to work?
I know how to model replace, and one of the things I've already done, I model replace things with 1 bone, so no animations or anything.
Right.
What I did to allow for Chomp Works and Sky Station to work is I replaced the big spike ball things with chain chomps. So now there's a rolling chain chomps, which exist in the game. I'm going to do the exact same thing, because Newer has a thing called Sprite Text, which allows multiple models for the same object.
Right.
One of the Newer by default has 2 models for that, thankfully. So I can replace the other one, which is actually a snowball, with a star ball, and make an auto-scrolling, rolling gauntlet kind of thing.
That's actually really cool. Yeah, I like that.
The decision is therefore, which one do I want to use? I think I'm going to do Coaster, which is the Rainbow Road one.
That's, to be fair, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
Your turn.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the progression of this mod comes along. I have been very silent for the past 20 minutes. There's not a lot I can say. A lot of it is me trying to remember certain galaxies, because I haven't played Galaxy in a while.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
But from what I have seen from the mod, it is looking really good. I'm looking forward to it. But no, it shows the legal part of it. Because
you did also add the question so that I can speak about this. You're part to blame for this one. So
I am to blame. But no, I am happy that it's coming along well. I am really looking forward to seeing more of it as it develops. But yeah, I mean, my answer is less crazy and, a lot of thought behind it. I mean, there's a lot of thought behind this. The Tato server.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
My Minecraft server, Tato, it's, for anyone who isn't regular here, it's a survival server. There's a lot of inspiration from servers like Hermitcraft and Empires, where it's very communal focused instead of it being, like a lot of servers. It's just very communal focused. There's a lot of trust put into the players, which, yes, opens the door to like griefing and things. But we have plugins to kind of fix that if that does happen. But it's just really fun. I love owning the server. Like, working on it's really cool. Like, there's a whole lore and backstory behind everything that happens. Like, the last season we had was entirely set in a simulation because the real world was like damaged, and there was it wasn't very clear until we left the simulation what had happened, and hundreds of years have passed, and writing the lore for the Tato server is just so fun to do.
Like, even that, the lore especially, it's so deep in that the account that is controlling the camera right now is canon.
Yeah, so I'm me, and what you're looking through right now is my second account, but in the lore of this server, my second account is canon. She's my sister.
Yeah, it's that kind of deep.
Yeah.
And we had like simulations and time passage being extreme, and
but
meteors, and
it's weird to write lore. Like, I'm not. Among Us is actually
that's the first Among Us reference in the podcast. Yeah.
Second. The first one was me saying sus.
That doesn't count.
I mean, fair.
That's different.
But no. So like the lore, like I'm not really a writer. Like I'm not very familiar with things, but I'm trying to make the lore in a way where it's in depth. There's a lot of things going on, but it's also not complicated to understand. Like the overall lore is basically the world has been thrown into some kind of war of some kind. We had to go into a simulation. We had basically, so Tato is like the kind of protector of the world.
Tato is God.
Not exactly. But they're kind of like the protectors. So to protect us, we entered a simulation in their mind, and they sealed themselves in a cave to basically protect us all from what was going on in the real world. And now that we've left the simulation, we found out that hundreds of years have gone by, and everything has now been completely ruined and destroyed from what the world looked like before. And what I've just mentioned is split across 3 different seasons of the server. Like the pre-war stuff was season 2, the whole simulation was season 3, and going back into the real world is season 4, which is the one which will be coming up once 1.20 comes out for Minecraft. But it's just a whole like lore thing. It's really fun. People seem to really like the lore. I hope they do anyway. And I also just try and make it as fun as I can. Like, it goes back to how we want the server to be communal, but also not. I'm not sure, but it's mostly a very vanilla experience. But we have custom things on the server. Like, you can see that we're drinking like these bottles. That's just one very small example of like custom things that we have. A bunch of custom items, a bunch of custom hats, just a bunch of different custom things. Like, it's really fun to play around with. We have some games on the server. Like the server is currently going through like a test kind of phase where we're testing new things, because the server is like always, evolving. It's not just one experience that's always going to be the same. It's constantly changing things. So season 3 ended with us going back into the real world, finding out that hundreds of years have gone by kind of thing. Season 4 is going to start in a few months. So the time in between, it's a non-canon season So there's going to be no lore. But it's really just to like test things. But even the mini test season is still really fun. Like it.
Us two are working together.
I say us two, but it's mostly me. But we kind of work.
In my defense, you have told me that I'm not allowed to build unless it's on camera, and since I'm not the one controlling the camera, it's very difficult to time things right.
I mean, that's fair.
Since I'm at school.
I mean, if you want to build anything, just tell me to go online, and I'll help you. But no, so basically, this applies to the Tato series I'm doing. For anyone who's watching that, thank you. It doesn't perform very well, but I love it very much. But it's just a little series on the test server. And we're going for like a kind of like cowboy, kind of Wild West theme. And we're making this like a Western town. You know, everything's in that theming and... What?
I was saying you're making it. Let's not say we.
I mean, you've helped a bit. You've helped a bit.
I got materials for you.
You got a lot of wood, which I needed. The next build is probably going to be your sheriff's office, so you can probably help me with that.
Oh, yay.
I have been
When
working...
did it end, by the way? Isn't it like a week away?
No, I did make a joke once saying the season's going to end once Tears of the Kingdom comes out because I'm going to be obsessing over it. That's not true. I don't know when it's going to end. Probably in a month. I don't know yet. But probably about a month, yeah. Episode 4 I'd like to get out in a few days. I've been working on it for the past 2 weeks. But it's not like crazy episode. It's just the editing's a bit weird. But I don't know, I want to get it done soon. But yeah, overall...
This is the episode.
Episode of all... I mean, it's probably the best one we've done so far, even though it's only episode 4. But it's... I don't know, I'm really
best of
enjoying
all the episodes that we've done.
Yes, there's a lot going on. It's very dumb and very silly. But no, overall, the Tato server is probably what I'm most proud of. It's one thing that, yes, it's Minecraft, and it's very hard to show Minecraft and say, yeah, I'm very proud of this, but... It's a Minecraft server that I've worked on for the past 3 or 4 years, and I'm just so happy with it.
Yeah,
And,
I think that's fair. I must say I really enjoyed the server,
I'm
especially
trying
the
to
actual
make it fun.
seasons.
Yeah, it's
because I like communal Minecraft quite a lot. So like I don't ever play single player Minecraft. If I'm playing Minecraft, I have to have like a chat that's rolling at the bottom left, just like people.
Yeah,
I can just talk to people.
Like,
and I just need that.
The server is pretty quiet because up until recent, I mean, there still plays now. I haven't really wanted to like advertise the server because the one time I did, we had like a bunch of cringe people join, and I'm still trying to like work on things so that if it does happen again, we are able to like defend the server in a way. But I would like to advertise the server so we have more players. But for now, it's mostly just the people in our Discord and just in general. It's a lovely community.
Yeah,
very friendly as well. Very, very, very epic.
That's one of the best things about having like quite a small community that everyone knows really well. Who are in the community, like everyone's really good friends with everyone.
I've said this to a few people before, but so for the past, I think 3 years. I mean, actually, no. So a lot of people pretty much everyone in the Discord found me through videos and whatever I've done over the past. But for the past 3 years now, my channel has completely died. I've just completely died. I've had a bit of change of topic. I do different things now. I used to do a lot of Mario stuff. And ever since switching from that to mostly Minecraft, it's completely died. Which, yeah.
Especially since you're on Twitch now.
Yeah, I do stream on Twitch now instead of YouTube, which also did not help. But I just prefer it as a platform.
Didn't help your YouTube channel growth much, to be fair.
It didn't. Yeah, it never really did.
No,
too
I
much.
think swapping platform didn't help.
It didn't do much, anything really.
I think moving to Twitch, you mean?
It didn't really do anything like negatively because nothing was really happening on YouTube anyway. But I'm
gonna just say as well. You said, pretty much every person here found you through YouTube. I'm one of the exceptions to that rule. Because I found you through Pika retweets.
Did you?
And I liked your profile picture, and I clicked on your profile and joined your Discord before I watched any of your content.
You found me through a random retweet from Pika and then joined the Discord.
From Pika? No, because Pika retweeted a lot of your stuff by that point.
Oh yeah.
I only actually knew Pika by that point, and Pika retweeted a lot. And I saw your profile picture. It was the old one. I kind of liked it. I was like, I like that profile picture. It looks like it's nice art. And I joined the Discord and said, hello.
And now we can't get rid of him.
I'm quite. I have the most messages in XP on the server now. I'm ahead of Libby. I beat the owner.
You have more messages than I do on my own server. He does talk a lot.
More messages and XP.
Yeah,
I've actually I've had way more messages than you for a long time. It's just that like I talked a lot more
you talk a lot more than on my you talk more than me on my own Discord.
So I didn't get the XP for it.
But no, like most people find me through videos and whatnot. But since the channel like completely died, there's been like very few new people come along. There has been some new people.
We've had like Chump.
Yeah, we've had a few new people
Chump
over the past couple of years.
Mayro.
Yeah, Mayro's up to
You've had C, you've had Zeph.
Yeah.
Like, who did we get in 2022? Like,
there's been
I don't think anyone. There must have been someone actually.
So channel dying has been less people, but because the community that was originally there, they've stuck around, it's changed from a kind of like YouTuber Discord into more or less like a server of friends, as cringe as that sounds.
A friend group, basically.
Yeah, it sounds, so the server now just feels like more of a friend group rather than a kind of... it's strange, it's weird, but I like it, it's nice.
Yeah, I really like it a lot.
It's nice. But if it comes time to like grow, if the channel ends up randomly growing, I don't know what I'm going to do with the Discord, because I've now changed how everything works, and it's mostly a mental thing. But
what will probably end up happening, in knowing you, is if you, let's say you suddenly start growing and you start getting hundreds of new people, you would make like an exclusive role for the OGs.
Yeah, we used to have
right now people.
That actually ties back into you, but so there was the time when the channel was growing a few years back. We used to have a special role on the Discord, because that's back when it was actually we had a special channel which was mostly just the people who were OGs or the friends or whatever, just one place where we could continue talking, where there were a bunch of new people. But now that everything's died, that channel doesn't really have a use anymore, because we can just talk normally. But what actually happened in the special channel was Acing started a chain of saying special in the special channel. And I think it's like 3 years later. And now that's...
No, look what theory is. I started it on August, I think 20th, 2021. And that was the last time, I think August 19th was the last time a word that was not a lowercase word special was sent in that channel.
Yeah, it was initially...
And it became a spam channel.
So we have a collection of like spam channels on our Discord, which they're not necessarily spam channels. I can't think of anything else to call them. They're mostly just like chain messages. So we have one where we had one, I don't think we still do it, but it was one where you just say epic repeatedly.
Yeah, you got rid of that. You archived it.
Yeah, it's changing every now and then. We have one where you basically just count. We're up to like 10,000.
She archives trans rights. She's a transphobe.
I'm literally trans. No, I usually just archive the spam channels, which like get less activity.
Haven't had a message, yeah.
Yeah, and that one just...
I'm the one that's keeping special alive right now. I'm doing it
special
every day.
Was a special channel, and there's still the special messages in there from back when that was a special channel. But for the past couple years, it's literally just been special in lowercase, written by mostly Acing.
I've been trying to do as long as a streak I can get right now. I have said special in that channel every day, no exceptions, since like the start of October. And now it's now, what's the date today? It's the
May 8th?
May 7th.
May 7th.
2023. So, and the first time I said special was August 20th, 2021. So that was the last point that I messaged that was the first special in that channel. Absolutely every message in that channel, with no exceptions whatsoever, has been a lowercase special.
Lowercase special.
And I'm quite proud of that, to be honest.
As you should.
Which ties back into the question.
It's impressive.
And what makes this even more funny to me, obviously it's not actually funny, but it's kind of funny with a contradiction, is the direct thing that happened before that was an argument.
Was it?
Yeah.
Anyway, should we wrap this up? Because we are now at... it is now 17... What time did we start the call, by the way? I'm just going to look one more time, because I think we started the call...
I mean, on Audacity, we're at 2 hours, 16 minutes.
Yeah, we started the call to prep things up at 16:53, i.e. 4:53 p.m. The current time is 17:25. Oh, sorry, not 19:25. I 7:25 p.m. So we're at like 2.5 hours of being on the phone right now.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. So we have answered the questions now.
I'm going to love
If you
editing
want
this
to-
one.
Yeah, have fun. There isn't really much to edit out, to be honest.
It's not, no. There was like that one time midway through where there was a knock on my door again.
But I continue speaking over that.
Yeah, so I just need to cut out my audio. It's fine. I need to actually like pay more attention to it this time though on the export, because last time there was like a clip for like 10 minutes where my audio just wasn't being picked up. Like it was there when editing, it was fine, but when I exported it, that one specific section had just pretty much no audio. Lion was still talking, but I wasn't.
That's weird.
I don't know what happened. I spent an hour re-exporting that one section like 10 times until it finally had audio. I don't know what happened. It was just really bugging out. But if you saw the first podcast before I fixed that issue, if you go back to it, there's a link in the description to that cut section. It's like 10 minutes long, but we go into some interesting talk about fears and nightmares, and also, actually no, sleep paralysis happens after. That's in the main podcast.
Oh, I didn't get to that part
Yeah,
yet.
he's only seen like half an hour
Excited for
of
that.
it, but yeah, we talk about sleep paralysis briefly.
Lovely. What a lovely conversation. We talked about nearly jumping to death in this episode. And last time we talked about sleep paralysis. Excellent.
But overall, I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. He's on my head again. He just sat on my head again.
I'm going to stay here now.
Okay, you can stay here. So we're in a different set than last time. I want to try doing this for every podcast, depending on the guest. So I want to have like the decorations be kind of different depending on who it is. He's dropping potatoes on my head. So like his kind of color is like red, so the walls are red, and I just thought it was nice because they were orange in Lions one, and I don't know, consistency. Lumi's still there. It's a statue. He's in a different pose this time. He's looking a little bit different.
Is he?
Yeah, before he was sat down. And now he's just standing. I have ideas for who the next guest is going to be, but I haven't actually spoken to them about it, so I'm not going to say who it is yet. Because I don't know.
Can I make a guess? So you have to answer. I'm going to make a guess, though.
Go for it.
I'm going to say it's Lily.
I'm not going to confirm or deny.
Okay, fine. I was just going to make a guess.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. See the first podcast if you haven't. I'm hoping you guys are liking this, because I'm finding these really fun to record.
To be
I've been
very
hyped.
honest, this has been the fastest 2.5 hours of my life.
I know it's gone really fast. It doesn't feel like
It's
2.5
really
hours.
Running on through one of my chocolates, like
These were
still got another one left.
like these questions. I thought they would be like, there'd be a lot more focus on the questions than there actually was. But those questions, they're more or less talking points. Like we start talking about it, but then we drift off to do something else, which I don't mind at all.
That's how conversations work.
That is how conversations work.
Yeah, it's nice.
This one was longer than the Lion podcast, and I'll be honest with you,
By a
AC,
long
I thought that
time.
one was going to be longer. I thought we'd go for like an hour. I didn't think we'd end up talking that much, but we talked for longer, a lot longer.
Look, if you bring up Splatoon and a mod that I'm making, it's probably brought up the time by about an hour and a
Splatoon
half.
and the Galaxy expansion probably took up like a third of the podcast.
Probably not a third. Actually, that might have been a third. Actually, yeah.
At least a
It would
quarter.
about 40
surely.
minutes. It would have been like 40 minutes. Oh God,
Which,
I need to
there's
stop.
nothing wrong with that. It was fine.
It was your fault.
They were
Your
my
questions.
questions. They were my questions.
You knew what you were signing up for.
Exactly. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you, Acing, for being here. It was a great time. Great 2.5
Can I
hours.
say one more thing? Can I say one more thing before we
Go
go?
for it.
Among Us.
Among Us.
Oh, bugger.
Among Us.